I'm gazing upward, a world I can't embrace. There's only thorns and splinters, venom in my veins. It's okay to cry out when it's driving you insane. But somehow, someday, I'll have to face the pain. It's all gone cold, but no one wants the blame. It's all so wrong, but who am I? Who am I to say? I'm begging for forgiveness, everything I've done. If God is listening, He knows I'm not the only one. It's okay to lash out from the rules that I'm enslaved. But somehow, someday, I'll have to turn the page. It's all gone cold, and no one wants to change. It's all so wrong, but no one wants to blame. It's all gone cold, there's nothing left to gain. It's all so wrong, but who am I? Who am I to say? My heart's an endless winter filled with rage. I'm looking forward to forgetting yesterday. It's all gone cold, and no one wants to change. It's all so wrong, but no one wants to blame. It's all gone cold, there's nothing left to gain. It's all so wrong, but who am I? Who am I to say? It's all gone cold, but who am I to say? It's all gone cold, but who am I? Who am I to say? Cold.
Hey, dainty girl, flailing on the side of the road with your great thumb in the air. I hope you don't mind me asking, but what happened to your underwear? And does your humble husband know of the hitching seedy path with cooperating sexual deviance? But Julian would never understand. And doesn't he know that just because he's a painter and he loves you, it doesn't mean that he has got a clue about my Thumbelina? I've never seen a pair of digits quite like yours before. And I have traveled shore to shore in such arduous allure. Your almost perfect body's got me quivering in a ball. a brash cowgirl with her hands patting your crotch and humping you in towering grass, naked and gender bending, what makes you think the two of you will last? For there's no dame or man for her, there's just this open road where she'll hail down some pervert with the usage of her giant thumb. But Jelly Bean, you can never comprehend the intellect of her mind. And just because you can make her come with your hand, it doesn't mean that she'll be your woman. My Thumbelina, I've never seen a pair of digits quite like yours before. And now I have traveled shore to shore in such arduous pull. Your almost perfect body's got me quivering in a ball. But 'twas a loon on the hillside, planted a seed between your thighs. You fancied him as your therapist, but he's just a sadistic sodomist who gave you that bastard kid. My Thumbelina, I've never seen a pair of digits quite like yours before. And I have traveled shore to shore in such arduous allure. Your almost perfect body's got me quivering in a ball. Yeah! My Thumbelina, my Thumbelina, my Thumbelina, my Thumbelina, my Thumbelina. Hey, have you seen her?
Don't cry, she'll be back tomorrow. Take back all the time you borrowed. I'm no longer afraid to tell you that I need you, and I wish that you would come back for more. Locked down in a fold-out bed, singing the same song over and over again. You need me half as bad, and I settle for less than that. If I meant to jump down, find you, promise to give for someone who
What's up, everybody? Oh! You know how it is. You know how be doing up and stay all that hopping and get on that down thing I'm on baby. Get on that. I'm gonna sing you a song. Yeah. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take this one back, baby. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. Pardon the way that I stare. There's nothing else to compare. The sight of you leaves me weak. There are no words left to speak. But if you feel like I feel, please let me know that it's real. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. Let's go, everybody! I love you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I need you, baby, to warm a lonely night. I love you, baby. Trust in me when I say, oh, pretty baby, don't bring me down, I pray. Oh, pretty baby, now that I found you, stay and let me love you, baby. Let me love you. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. Let's clap it up, bud. I love you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I need you, baby, to warm a lonely night. I love you, baby. Trust in me when I say, oh, pretty baby, don't bring me down, I pray. Oh, pretty baby, let I found you stay. Oh, please, baby, trust in me when I say, oh, pretty baby. Just like that, an abrupt ending. That's how we like it. Oh no. Oh no! Why isn't it doing that? It's supposed to be a brand cut. Hang on, I need to fix that real quick right there. This should fix it. It should fix it. Oh no, I updated it. Of course, it's not gonna work now. Awesome! Starting things off strong. I had to do it manually, man. I had to do it manual. I don't know what that was all about. That was weird. But it was just like, no, we are not going to cue the changing of the stream. Yeah, I don't know why the Steam Deck all of a sudden doesn't want to work. Stream Deck. Thank you, Stream Deck, for being so awesome. Professional streamer, that's me. That's me. I probably should have tested that before I went live, but you know, that's not how I do things. I usually tend to do it live and just hope that it all works the way it's supposed to. And typically it does. 9 times out of 10, it works exactly how it's supposed to, and then it just doesn't.
Well, would you look at that? Someone's guilty of being a total badass. Chick Nugs approves this message.
Fabiola Case super chatted $2. Look at us when you sing.
I
Lol.
am so sorry, Fabiola. Next time I will make sure that I look at you guys when I'm singing, okay? I don't want to risk getting anybody upset. You know, if y'all need me to pay attention to y'all and stare you deeply into the eyes as I be singing songs, then that's just how it's going to be. That's just how we're going to do it from now on. We're live over on the TikTok. We're live on the YouTube. We're live on the Itch. Apparently, I found out today it's my my Twitch affiliate anniversary. I heard EG hates looking at us. Well, technically, I'm not looking at you. I think it's because like I just have an inanimate object here to look at, like the camera, right? So I'm deeply looking into your eyes right now. I'm looking deeply into your eyes. But really, for me, all I'm looking at is my lens. It's a beautiful lens. Don't get me wrong. It's a very pretty lens. Maybe that is something I need to try to do a little better. Looking directly at you guys when I'm talking, right? Because that, I don't know, maybe it'll build a connection between us. It'll build a rapport, if you will. But anyway, you know how we do. I can't even do roll call because the stream deck's not even working. What is up with this? I'm going to have to do it the old-fashioned way, going in and finding the scene and then changing it that way, which is kind of annoying. I'm going to be honest. It's kind of annoying, but here we go. Roll call, baby.
Let's take a roll here. Jay Quellen. Where's Jay Quellen at? No Jay Quellen here? Yeah.
Do you mean Jacqueline?
Okay. So that's how it's gonna be.
That's how it's gonna be, man. Every time. She said, tape a face above your lens. Easy clap. Yo, that's not a bad idea. Like, just have someone up there that I can constantly just talk to. I think that would be actually smart. I think that'd be a smart idea. No other streamers look at the lens, right? Mudahar doesn't look at the lens. He just looks like this. Although he also has it like dark as hell too, Mudahar. There we go. That's a little better. Now y'all can see me. Now y'all can see me. Isn't that great? Yeah, Jay Quellen is in the house tonight, so that's good. We can always count on Jay Quellen being here. We got Carla Stop here, who reminded me today that it is indeed my Twitch anniversary of being an affiliate. 1 year of being a Twitch affiliate. How about that? Ain't that cool? Ain't that cool? And then we have Estelation Sif says Jay Quellen. I see we got Blue Jay in the house, the fearless moderator of my Discord, fearless admin, I'm sorry, of the Discord. She's the big boss lady. Don't piss her off. JD Minaj is in the house tonight. Sorry, was that too much? Nah, that was just right. That was just right. I'm going with it. Timey Wimey's here. We are also live over on TikTok, guys. I know that I think that we're safe. We're not doing any like edgelord stuff tonight, so we should be good in the TikTok department. Carla Stop, as I mentioned before, so lovely to have you here. Fabiola K super chatted $2. Look at us when you sing. Yes, ma'am. I will from now on. Rajajajira is in the house tonight. Who else? We got New Moon Rising is here.
Of being a total badass. Chick Nugs approves this message.
Fabiola Case super chatted $2. Dodgers game and gym time, you're getting better. Smiley face emoji, smiley face emoji, smiley face emoji, smiley face emoji.
Well, as you guys know, I strictly stream around your time. So if you guys are happy with the way that the stream times are going, that's good. I'm also going to probably start streaming on Friday nights. Well, actually, Thursday nights, I'm going to have to change to Friday nights anyway because I have a new season coming up of Monster Truck Racing. So we won't be streaming on Thursday nights. We'll be streaming on Fridays. I believe it will be Fridays. So that's cool, but we can go later into the night. We could make Friday like a really nice long stream. There's two ideas I have. So I'm thinking of starting streaming earlier, but I like to take naps sometimes too. I took a nap before today's stream, so. Rebecca Loves 9 Inch Nails. How you been, girl? It's been a minute. She says, hey, EG, that was fantastic. little bit of Frankie Valley never hurt nobody. I see we got Jammer in the house posting the Discord link. Thank you, Jammer. If you guys want to get down in with the community, check out our Discord. We have an amazing community over there. It seems like everybody's hopping on the Discord server train. Maya Draco Lazovsky is in the house tonight. Who else we got in tonight? Phallic Weapon, my fearless researcher, finds us all the best stories to talk about. Because Lord knows, I have to work a full-time job, and she's in touch with what goes on the internet way better than I am. So it's always nice to have someone helping me out identifying stories and stuff. I see we got Sarah Nolan Little saying she's lurking. I don't know if you noticed, Sarah, but I didn't do your... I started off the stream playing your Five Finger Death Punch song, but I didn't end up... I didn't get a chance to sing it yet because it is... I still got to learn it. It's a very touchy song, like very melodic, so it goes up and down a lot, so that's cool. If you guys are flying through on TikTok, please consider at least following the stream. We're not like the most crazy people in the world, but we're the best, so that's cool. We don't have to be the most crazy, we just be the best people, and I think that's what we are. Carla Stop, again, I just keep saying her name because she chatted so many times. I will say it, the more you chat, the more you get identified. I'm just trying to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Let's see who else we got. Anybody? Did I miss anybody? Did I miss anybody? If you're typing in the chat right now, I will see you in a minute. Because I have to go back all the way to the top and then back down to the bottom. Mr. T's 2 gold chains. There he is. How you doing, pal? Good to see you. Good to see you. So everybody else is marked tardy for the party. All right, and that wraps up roll call. You know what we do after roll call? We get into hot topics. This is where we talk about all the most changing trends in the world. Oh, I noticed you, sir. I noticed you. All right. Yeah, hot topics. Oh, I can't press the button. What is that alert? Okay, so I pressed it, and then there was like this exclamation point that came up. So that's cool. Professional streamer, guys. Don't try this at home. Seriously, don't. It just doesn't work, ever. Never does what it's supposed to do. But anyway, hot topics.
Let's talk about it. It's time for hot topics.
Wait, no. Nothing is out of context. I am an Islamist, fundamentalist, radical terrorist. I am.
I mean, that's what he said. I don't know if that's true. I think it's true personally, but that's what he said. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Y'all doing good? Y'all doing great? Y'all doing super fancy? That's beautiful. I see hot topic on TikTok. Good. So I hope so. I hope that we see hot topic on TikTok. Yeah, only try this while driving. I don't think I can say that without getting banned off of the of whatever platform. Make sure you stream and drive, folks. Don't drink and drive, but stream and drive. Which we'll have an interesting story later regarding drinking and being arrested. So that should be pretty fun. Actually, you know what? I need to go back over here because I need to pull up the docket. I need to pull it up, and I can't do it over here. Not without showing you guys my Discord. And frankly, I don't want y'all to see that because, I got some private conversations in there. All right, here's the docket. So now I'm going to have a graphic for this. Now, obviously, we're not a political channel, right? We're not. And we never will be a political channel. But that doesn't mean we don't not talk about politics. So if there's a lot going on in the world, we will talk about politics on this channel. I don't shy away from it. However, I don't know if you guys follow me on X, but you definitely should follow me on X because I made a proclamation the other day where I refuse to start taking sides anymore in these political debates because I feel like you're either stoking the flames of division in this country or you are working to make it better. And I want to be one of those people who are working to make it better. So that's what I'm hoping to do is work to make it better. So we're going to start off with a story in regards to The UN. So the UN, big giant, organization around the world. I really hate that I can't use this stupid my Stream Deck. I've become so reliant on it to change scenes, and now I can't use it at all. That's annoying. So this segment's gonna be called Political Poo. I'm gonna have as you guys know in the Discord, we have a whole channel dedicated to political poo. So yeah, political poop. That's what this stuff's gonna be talked about. This is the highlights of the U.S. President Donald addressing the UN General Assembly. It should be interesting to see what he has to say. Is this thing got audio? It should have audio. Oh.
Of just 7 months, I have ended 7 unendable wars. They said they were unendable. You're never going to get them solved. Some were going for 31 years.
I think those wars are still going on, by the way. I don't think that Trump actually ended up stopping those wars yet, but he's trying. I guess that's a win. He's trying to end them.
Here's 2 of them. 31. Think of it. 31 years. One was 36 years. One was 28 years. I ended 7 wars.
I think he's just saying numbers at this point. I think he's just throwing out numbers and hoping that they're right, or at least close to where they need to be.
And
we're gonna get to that,
They
Maya.
were raging with countless thousands of people being killed. I ended 7 wars, dealt with the leaders.
I ended 7 wars. They told me it couldn't be done. 7. All right, if there was an 8th war, I'd probably end that one too. I'm just going out on a limb. They say it couldn't be done. Absolute the best. That's why they call me the best. I don't know who they are. That's what they tell me. They say, Trump, you are the best. They said if there was 100 wars, you'd solve 99 of them, but there's always that one you never know. You might not be able to solve.
Of each and every one of these countries, and never even received a phone call from the United Nations offering to help in finalizing the deal.
The UN never calls me. They never call me. I say, the UN, give me a call. Sometimes the phone rings, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know if it's hooked up or not, but the UN, they never call. They never tell me. They say Trump, and I say, that's me. Isn't it a great name? It's a great name, folks. The UN phone never rings. I don't know why. Maybe it's unhooked. Maybe we haven't paid the bills. But all I know is that the UN phone never rings.
All I got from the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle.
I said, I go to the UN, I try to use the escalator goes halfway up, I don't go the rest of the way. I say, what do I gotta do? Use the rest of these as stairs? What is this? What kind of business are you using? The UN escalator. They don't build them like that in America, folks, let me tell you. In America, our escalators start from the bottom, they take you all the way to the top. Just like America. Cream of the crop rises to the top.
The First Lady wasn't in great shape. She would have fallen. But she's in great shape. We're both in good shape. We both stood.
Some people say the best shape. That escalator would have taken out probably Biden, but not me. It doesn't. The escalator, they say, oh, what would have happened if Biden was going up these stairs? I'd say, well, first off, this is an escalator, you buffoon.
And then a teleprompter that didn't work. These are the 2 things I got from the United Nations, a bad escalator and a bad teleprompter. What is the purpose of the United Nations? The UN is such tremendous...
You could tell these escalators and these escalators and these teleprompters are clearly made in China, folks, okay? China virus. It's got the escalator stopping. It's got the teleprompter not prompting. What are we gonna do? In America, we got the best teleprompter. Some say our teleprompters are prompting themselves. They're self-aware.
This potential. I've always said it. It has such tremendous, tremendous potential, but it's not even coming close to living up to that potential. For the most part, at least for now, all they seem to do is write a really strongly worded letter and then never follow that letter up. It's empty.
Speaking of following, this is the perfect time for me to mention you should follow E.G. lately. He's the best coverage. He does the best examples of me complaining about escalators and teleprompters. Clearly China made... China Let's talk about China, okay? First off, China doesn't know how to make a good escalator. You know who makes a good escalator? Trump Tower. That makes a good escalator. Our escalators never stop in Trump Tower. That's all I'm gonna say about that. They escalate.
Empty words, and empty words don't solve war. Many years ago, a very successful real estate developer in New York, known as Donald J. Trump,
You may have heard of him, folks. I'm just saying, I've heard good things, hung like a horse. I'll tell you what, nobody rides the escalator like Trump rides an escalator.
bid on the renovation and rebuilding of this very United Nations complex. I remember it so well. I said at the time that I would do it for $500 million, rebuilding everything.
A $500 million escalator, folks. Could you imagine that? It's made of gold. That $500 million American Trump escalator will take you all the way from the bottom all the way to the top. And then if you want, you can put it in reverse. You can ride it right back down. It's amazing. It's amazing, folks. Where's all the American escalators? They say, I don't see them. I look around, I say, that escalator sucks. That escalator's got a kid trapped in it.
It would be beautiful. I used to talk about, I'm going to give you marble floors. They're going to give you terrazzo.
When I think of people to follow, I think of follow E.G. Wow, E.G., he's the best to follow. Nobody should be followed more than E.G. That's right, that's what they tell me. That's what they tell me, folks.
I'm going to give you the best of everything. You're going to have mahogany walls. They're going to give you plastic. But they decided to go in another direction, which was much more expensive at the time, and which actually produced a far inferior product. And I realized that they did not know what they were doing when it came to construction, and that their building concepts were so wrong, and the product that they were proposing to build was so bad and so costly. It was going to cost them a fortune. And I said, and wait till you see the overruns. Well, I turned out to be right. They had massive cost overruns and spent between $2 and $4 billion on the building.
$2 and $4 billion. Could you imagine how many working escalators we could get if we had $2 to $4 billion invested in escalators? Make escalators great again, folks. Make teleprompters work again. That's the America I envision for ourselves.
And did not even get the marble floors that I promised them.
Marble escalators. That's it, folks. Marble escalators.
As far as I'm concerned,
They said it couldn't be done.
Looking at the building and getting stuck on the escalator.
I'm telling you, it all goes back to that goddamn escalator. China was trying to kill me via escalator. Assassination per escalator. That's what they do. That's how they get you. Every time. More people have died on escalators than in any elevator or on any stairway. I don't know, don't check me on that fact, but sounds about right to me.
They still haven't finished the job. They still haven't finished. That was years ago. Millions of people came through that southern border. Just a year ago, millions and millions of people were pouring in. 25 million altogether over the...
Jammer's in my chat saying, why is this being discussed at the UN? Escalators are a real big problem in the world. Jammer, you might not realize this, but escalators have been the primary cause of the war in Palestine. I know you don't know this. That's all, but the whole Middle Eastern war, you know, peace in the Middle East, all comes from escalators. If they had working escalators, this never happens. They say, Trump, fix the escalators. I say, hey, I don't know how to fix them. No, I can't do it without the UN. Golden escalators in Palestine, folks. Imagine that. China doesn't want you to have golden escalators. No, sir.
4 years of the incompetent Biden administration. And now we have it stopped, totally stopped. In fact, they're not even coming anymore because they know they can't get through.
They're not even coming. Can you imagine that, folks? Not coming. It's a damn shame. I come all the time. Ask Melania. Melania's over in the corner, like.
But what took place is totally unacceptable. The UN is supposed to stop invasions, not create them, and not finance them. In the United States, we reject the idea that mass numbers of people from foreign lands can be permitted to travel halfway around the world trample our borders, violate our sovereignty, cause unmitigated crime,
Use our escalators, hijack our teleprompters,
and deplete our social safety net. We have reasserted that America belongs to the American people, and I encourage all countries to take their own stand in defense of their citizens as well. You have to do that because I see it. I'm not mentioning names. I see it, and I can call every single one of them out. You're destroying your countries. They're being destroyed.
just take a look at your escalators. Case in point, your escalators don't work. Come to America, our escalators work. You go to Target, it's not even a nice Target, but the escalator works.
Europe is in serious trouble. They've been invaded by a force of illegal aliens like nobody's ever seen before. Illegal aliens are pouring into Europe. Nobody is ever, and nobody's doing anything to change it, to get them out. It's
a damn tragedy. The illegals, they're using the escalators, folks. I've seen it. They've used I wouldn't be surprised if the escalators don't work because of the illegals.
not sustainable. And because they choose to be politically correct, they're doing just absolutely nothing about it. I look at London, where you have a terrible mayor, terrible, terrible mayor. And it's been so changed, so changed. Now they want to go to Sharia law, but you're in a different country. You can't do that. Both the immigration and their suicidal energy ideas will be the death of Western Europe.
That's what they tell me. They tell me the world's being invaded by illegal aliens. Not like the aliens from Mars, the illegal kind. These ones are even worse. You've seen Mars attacks. China! I wouldn't be shocked if China's behind all the illegal aliens coming into our countries, flying in from outer space. They say, Trump, what are you going to do about all the aliens? I say, what am I supposed to do? They're not from this world.
If something is not done immediately, this cannot be sustained. Another UN official stated in 1989 that within a decade, entire nations could be wiped off the map by global warming.
Not to mention all the escalators that won't work. They say global warming's taking us all down. I say, at least the at least the escalator does. Well, it's supposed to anyway. Not in America, the escalators take you down. In the UN, they go halfway and they stop. They almost killed my wife.
Not happening. You know, it used to be global cooling. If you look back years ago in the 1920s and the 1930s, they said, global cooling will kill the world. We have to do something. Then they said global warming will kill the world. But then it started getting cooler, so now they could just call it climate change because...
Speaking of cool, nothing's cooler than a working escalator, okay? China comes in, they break all of our escalators, folks.
That way they can't miss. It's climate change. Because if it goes higher or lower, whatever the hell
Crazy
happens,
cat lady of
it's
8
climate
kids,
change.
how are you? Good to see you.
It's the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world, in my opinion. Climate change, no matter what happens, you're involved in that. No more global warming, no more global cooling. All of these predictions made by the United Nations and many others, often for bad reasons, were wrong. They were made by stupid people that have cost their countries
Would you
fortunes
look
and
at
given
that?
the...
Someone's guilty of being a total badass. Chick Dugs approves this message.
Fabiola Case super chatted $2. He'll take the elevator.
Don't take the elevator, because in America we have perfectly good escalators. That's all you need, Fabiola. Take that $2, invest it in a good escalator.
Those same countries, no chance for success. If you don't get away from this green scam, your country is going to fail.
I tell them, I say their countries are going to fail. They look at me and they say, China. They say, I know, they're breaking all the escalators. Marble walls, folks. Marble walls. Anyway, that's the Trump, that's Trump. And his important address to the UN. Oh boy, it's funny. I'm sure they're probably sitting there thinking like, does this guy know at all what he's talking about? Like, probably not. If I had to guess, most likely not. Escalators, that's what he goes on a big rant about escalators. You gotta love it. Only in America, folks. Only in America. Teleprompters don't work. The escalators don't work. Man, I love so much more about... Yeah, everybody. Yeah, you can't beat a good escalator. The Mitch Hedberg used to have this joke about escalators. He would be like... like when the escalator's down, they put up a sign and you're like, escalators, temporarily stairs, sorry for the convenience. Because whenever the escalators would stop, it would turn into stairs. But, yeah, I mean, the escalators are a big problem in the world. I wouldn't be shocked if these escalators are what are bringing in these illegal aliens. That's how I feel. Oh, that's funny. So that was that was Trump's UN address. Very important stuff, as you know. Very important stuff. So here's a big story. YouTube has actually admitted that they have censored people on the internet. So back when Biden was in the administration, they were getting pressured to censor people of different political views. So this is from I gotta remember, I cannot use this stupid dang thing. So this is from Representative Jim Jordan. It says, breaking, due to oversight efforts, Google commits to offer all creators previously kicked off of YouTube due to political speech violations to return to the platform. But that's not all. So here's a thread starting here. So this is from King and Spalding. I guess these guys are lawyers. The Honorable Jim Jordan, Chairman Committee of the Judiciary, United States House of Representatives. Dear Chairman Jordan, the statement of facts is submitted on behalf of our client, Alphabet Incorporated, and its subsidiary, YouTube, collectively Alphabet, or the company, in response to subpoenas issued by the House Committee on Judiciary, whatevers. Through the committee's investigations, Alphabet provided responsive information to the committee to fulfill its oversight responsibilities, producing internal records and providing extensive testimony, including more than 40 sets of responsive documents and voluntary participants of 20 executives in transcribed interviews. And then they just go into what Google is. The committee and its investigation. The company appreciates the accountability from the House Judiciary Committee, led by Chairman Jim Jordan, and its critical role in advancing the core American value of freedom of expression. So this is, you know, and basically, you know, the long and short of it is that these when Biden's administration was in office, they were pushing people to, essentially, they were trying to get people to stop, like, they were trying to pressure Google and YouTube to, like, silence people like, I guess, like Ben Shapiro or people like Nick Fuentes. So, I guess now they're encouraging people to, like, return to the platform if you've been banned. That's the whole reason Elon Musk bought X, right? So this is kind of, I applaud YouTube for this decision too, to be transparent enough to announce that you at one point were not being, like, legit and you were censoring people due to the government's request. You know, it's the very fundamentals that this country was founded on, and I think it's great that they came forward and they said this. So it says, so this is the Biden administration Alphabet. The COVID-19 pandemic was an unprecedented time in which online platforms had to reach decisions about how to best balance freedom of expression with responsibility, including responsibility with respect to the moderation and user-generated content that could result in real-world harm. So a lot of this has to do with the way that people were spreading information about the COVID-19 virus. If you had said something about vaccines or something about, you know, vaccinations not working or something, you could have been banned in 2020. So I guess that was from pressure from the Biden organization. And yeah, as Jammer said, Zuckerberg on Joe Rogan said the same thing, that the FBI would reach out to Facebook and say, you know, what are you going to do about these misinformation spreaders? Plus, if you go back and you look at who was the House the press secretary for Biden before Jean-Pierre came in, it was the redheaded girl. but she was literally saying that they need to hold these platforms accountable for people allowing people to spread misinformation, which that's not the platform's fault. It's inevitably up to the creator, who's the person saying this stuff. Like, if I came on here and started ranting off like a bunch of racist or hateful stuff, that's not on Google. That's not on YouTube. That's on me for saying it. You can't hold Google responsible. Now, if you get to a point though where like you're like Hassan and you've been claiming, been advocating for violence for many years and they've never done anything, maybe that's a different story. But you could reasonably argue that Hassan's that it's not Twitch's fault that Hassan says what he says, but at the same time, it is Twitch's responsibility to stop him from advocating violence. So here it says, senior Biden administrative officials, including White House officials, conducted repeated and sustained outreach to Alphabet and pressed the company regarding certain user-generated content related to the COVID-19 pandemic and did not violate its policies. While the company continued to develop... I lost my spot. While the company continued to develop and enforce its policies independently, Biden administration officials continued to press the company to remove non-violative user-generated content. So even content that wasn't going against YouTube's violations or terms of service, they were trying to have that stuff removed, which... YouTube takes their terms of service very seriously. TikTok takes their terms of service very seriously. Twitch takes their... Well, no, Twitch doesn't. Let's just be realistic. I also lost my Facebook account for no reason. Yeah, that sucks. See, as online platforms, including Alphabet, grappled with the decisions, the administration's officials, including President Biden, created a political atmosphere that sought to influence the actions of platforms based on their concerns regarding misinformation. It is unacceptable and wrong when the government, including the Biden administration, attempts to dictate how the company moderates content, and the company has consistently fought against those efforts on the First Amendment ground. So, obviously, not good. It goes on here. It says, no matter the political atmosphere, YouTube will continue to enable free expression on its platform. This is why I've always been a big fan of the tube. I got to be careful because I'm on TikTok and they don't like when you say the word HooTube very often. YouTube will continue to enable free expression on its platform, particularly as it relates to issues subject to political debate. Political debate and discussion are in the public's interest, which is why YouTube expanded its approach to educational, documentary, scientific, and artistic content on the platform. In contrast to other large platforms, YouTube has not operated... sorry, 1 second here. YouTube has not operated a fact-checking program that identifies and compensates fact-checking partners to produce content to support moderation. YouTube has not and will not empower fact-checkers to take action on or the label content across the company's services. So this is like YouTube basically saying that they're not going to have like something that X does where there'll be like a little thing that pops underneath of a wrong story that was purported as lies and correct it, which I actually like about X. But typically X gets it from the responses from people. So YouTube also began offering a feature on YouTube beginning in June 2024 that allows users to add notes to provide relevant, timely, and understandable context on videos. The pilot is available on the mobile in the US. So if you've ever been watching it on your phone, you could see that underneath some videos, you'll get a little info box that pops up that'll explain a little bit better context behind what the person's talking about, which I think is great. You know, the more people can understand about a situation, the better. Because, let's be honest, we're on the internet, and there's so many people on here who just straight up just make things up. I mean, there's really no other way to say it. They just make shit up. The company terminated channels for repeatedly violating the community guidelines on elections, integrity, content through 2023, and COVID-19 content through 2024. Today, YouTube's community guidelines all allow for a wider range of content regarding COVID-19 and elections integrity, reflecting the company's commitment to free expression. YouTube will provide an opportunity for all creators to rejoin the platform if the company terminates their channels for repeated violations of COVID-19 and election integrity politics that are no longer in effect. YouTube values conservative voices on its platform and recognizes that these creators have extensive reach and play an important role in civil discourse. The company recognizes these creators are among those shaping today's online consumption, landing must-watch interviews, giving viewers the chance to hear directly from politicians, celebrities, business leaders, and more. So, bold move for YouTube here to come out and say this. There's a shift happening right now, folks, and at the end of the day, the bottom line is money, right? And YouTube's got to make money, Google's got to make money, and Google's not gonna give up large earnings or big creators on their platforms to places like Rumble, so that, and I think that's it. It's Rumble's probably growing. YouTube wants to get back some of the creators they may have lost, which those creators are easily going to come back. Those creators, like, if you don't think that people like just Fresh and Fit podcasts are going to come back to YouTube, you're nuts. They're definitely going to be one of the first in line to probably run back here and start talking again. The only thing I ever see info on is the sovereign citizen movement. What's up, Michael Schwarwick? What's the word today? The word of the day is mum. Mum's the word. Mum is the word today. So you got that going on. You got that going on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, got that all day. That thing gonna get you do that thing. Yep. Yes, sirree, Bob, baby. Yes, sirree, Bob. I like it. What's up, Zero? How you doing, brother? All right. Let me get back over here. I really hate that this Stream Deck isn't working. I don't really understand what's going on over here. I don't know why this is not doing its why it's not doing its job. I wonder if the OBS update broke this. I think that's got to be what it is. It done broke it. But anyway. Oh, what's up, Pori Cookie? What's up? How you doing? PWR Cookie. Cookie. I know Cookie. It's just a fun word to say. Cookie. Alright, so I think that's it. So it says, I just add a couple things. It says, admits that Biden, so he just breaks it down and says, unacceptable and wrong for Biden to try to censor Americans. I think that people are taking free speech very seriously nowadays, and I think that's a great thing for all sides. Democrats need to be able to fight for their points of view, and Republicans need to fight for their points of view as well. So the more freedom of speech that you have, the better, I think. So, doing really well, Cookie. Doing really well. Okay, and then there's another story that's really popular right now, and that is Tylenol being linked to apparently autism. And this is from NPR, so this is kind of a big deal right now. Everybody's talking about it online. There's a lot of memes coming out about Tylenol and autism. When it comes to Tylenol, what are parents to do? So you see here a nice little, I'm sure we all have taken Tylenol. Pregnant women take Tylenol all the time. Headache, sore back, bad cold. In the past, many Americans would reach into their medicine cabinets and pull out acetaminophen, known by the brand name Tylenol, without any concern at all. Well, aside from your liver, right? A lot of people knew that if you took too much Tylenol, it could hurt your liver. It's long been a staple of home medicine, seen as a safe way to treat pain and fever in pregnancy, as well as childhood, when used as directed. But President Trump has come out swinging against the common over-the-counter drug, blaming it for rising cases in autism in recent years. Don't take Tylenol if you're pregnant, and don't give Tylenol to your child, Trump said in a White House briefing, emphatically repeating this warning more than a dozen times. Fight like hell not to take it. And stay off the goddamn escalators. Physician groups plus the maker of Tylenol immediately pushed back on the president's stance, saying that it just wasn't supported by the research. I have a feeling I'm gonna go with Tylenol on this one. You know, you know, how long have they been researching this? Probably not long enough to really get a good idea. I will say that there is an uptick in autism, though. Yeah, I don't think, yeah, you know, take everything Trump says with a grain of salt, basically. It's how you got to treat him. You know, as long as he's doing what's best for the country, that's what's important. But, yeah, as far as, like, listening to what he says, I would just take it with a grain of salt. And could have serious repercussions for women and babies. Let's say nobody voted for Trump because of the profound things he says. More like he's hilarious and kind of an idiot. But, you know, at the end of the day, he does get shit done. So I think that's why most people ended up voting for him. All of this means that many parents and would-be parents, plus others who sometimes take acetaminophen, are suddenly wondering why they should think about this old mainstay of medicine and whether they truly need to be concerned. What have the research studies actually found? Research have spent years trying to tease out any links between autism and acetaminophen, but the evidence is uncertain, according to the Food and Drug Administration's new warning sent to physicians. It noted that while some studies have found an association between the use of the drug and development of autism in children, other studies have come to the opposite conclusion. So there's some studies that are saying yes, some studies that are saying no. Well, and talk to your doctor, yeah. Definitely talk to your doctors, get their opinions, because they probably know more than Trump does. One reason such research is difficult is that parents may not remember or may misreport how much of the drug they actually took during pregnancy. That's why researchers were particularly interested in one 2019 study in the Journal of JAMA Psychiatry that made objective measurements of drug levels in umbilical cord blood in nearly 1,000 mother and child pairs. Listen, I can understand why a pregnant woman would want to take Tylenol. I'm sure they feel like shit, and they're trying to just get any kind of comfort they can. The lead researcher was careful to note that the study did not show that the drug caused those disorders, just that there was an association. So, you know, it's funny, I hated Trump during his first term, but now during his second term, he has changed my mind. I like him now. I think it's a hit or miss. You know, you can, like, I think that he's kind of I think he's an okay leader. I think he's just an idiot, personally. You know, I don't think he says smart things often, but he does, he is a pretty, you know, I think he's a, you know, pretty solid leader, at least, when it comes to running the country. I don't know how good he is at bringing Americans together, because he just said the other day that he hates Democrats, and I don't think that's a good way to get anything done in the progress of peace on our end. So yeah, that's what's going on. I think, let me just double check here, but I think that is going to wrap up Hot Topics. Yeah, that's going to wrap up Hot Topics. Let's go. We got to do Hot Topics, folks, and escalators and stuff. Let's go.
Let's talk about it. It's time for Hot Topics.
Wake up. Nothing is out of context. I am an Islamist, fundamentalist, radical terrorist. I am.
Alright, so we're going to do these things now between Hot Topics and main topics that I'm going to call palate cleansers. Totally stealing this from Chud Logic because he does this, but it's kind of like if I'm taking on like a lot of tragic stories in Hot Topics, this gives us a way to throw in like a lightheart story to kind of like switch things up a little bit and make us not so upset with the way the world is. So that's why we're gonna do these palate cleansers here. I think this will be good for the long run, and making it so that we're not just getting nothing but sad news all the time. So this is an interesting story. So Phallic found this one. This is a 17-year-old girl. This is a the following content may contain. Oh. Okay, let's hope that this doesn't contain anything too bad, but we can always stop if we need to. I'm gonna turn off TikTok for a second, and then I'm gonna bring it right back up. Thank you, Timey and Draco, for the support over there. Hey, Azure, how you doing? So we're just gonna pull down TikTok for a second here, and then we're gonna go and then we're gonna put it back up. I'm only doing that because I need to up it to be adult content. I keep forgetting to click this dang button here that says audience controlled. So you limit your profile and videos to those 18 and older. So I don't want any younger people seeing this, basically, is where I'm at here. So we're back live over on the TikTok. Alright, so this is an interesting story that Phallic actually ended up finding. And I thought it was interesting. And this has to do with like age regression in times of crisis. So I think that this is actually a pretty interesting story. If I can find... This is taking me so much longer to switch between scenes now because of this dang Stream Deck not working with the updated OBS. But alright, so this 17-year-old girl got arrested for being drunk, and then she ends up... So this is 47 minutes. I think we'll skip the arrest part, but I kind of want to just show you what happens to her when she gets into the police station, because this is where it gets interesting. Happy you're here too, Azure. Ashore.
Yeah, put your feet up. Put your feet up.
So she's underage, she's drunk, not happy. She probably didn't get a working escalator, folks. Around 21.
I don't want to put my feet
Around 21 minutes is where the clip happens. Okay.
up. I shouldn't have to if I don't want to.
We have to get over here.
I'm at 18, so this gives us a little bit of a...
No, I haven't closed the corner when I wouldn't do because I have freedom. Your mommy's gonna be here in a little bit.
So if you hear her, she's starting to cry for her mommy. Okay, she got caught drinking underage, so she got arrested, and now she's like almost regressing to like a child, childlike mindset here.
Yeah, mommy's gonna be here. Yeah, I called you mommy. Okay.
Look at the drool coming down her face. Like this, I think that there's a mental health issue going on here that's not just related to alcoholism. I think this is like alcoholism on top of mental health issues. But there's a really sweet moment that happens here, okay? I'm not just showing you this to make you feel horrible for this girl. There's a cute moment that happens here.
Open up. Okay, Desiree. Desiree, listen to me.
So hang on, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit here. So this lady right here, I'm guessing she's a mother. She probably using booze. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing too. She's probably using booze to cope with how she's feeling about herself or self-worth. Being a teenager is hard, man. Being a teenager is really hard, and it's really, there's a lot of people who have a lot of struggles when they go through teenage years. A lot of hormones that you're dealing with for the first time. This lady has to be a mom. I had to guess. If I had to guess.
She's gonna be here in a minute, okay? Desiree, listen to me. Are you done puking? Desiree, are you done puking?
Part of me wonders if they probably would have been better off taking her to the hospital instead of the police station. So you'll see, like, she's starting to talk to her like a child, almost trying to give her like a maternal type of treatment. And watch how amazing it actually ends up working.
Mommy.
Alright, I don't see anything in there. We're gonna start this at 12:17.
She reaches for her phone. Now watch what she does.
Here we go. Listen. We're gonna listen to some music, okay?
It's played Hi Ho the Dario, the farmer in the dale. This is what I mean. This lady has to either have a niece or a child. But look, it actually starts working. Yep, and sleepy time. She starts lulling her to bed. Look, she's like, I can't believe this worked. She's trying not to laugh. Now the 17-year-old is fine, okay? Nothing happened to her. If anything, she's probably gonna have an embarrassing story that this video went wild on. If they're both trying hard to not laugh. But she'll be, when she turns 18, yeah, I'm glad it worked too. This girl was obviously going through a hard time. I hope that she realizes that drinking to numb the pain is not the way to go. So you just keep the music going, keep her calm. So I'm sure they're just waiting for the mother to show up. Does the mom show up, Phallic? It just seems like she drank too much. She probably got behind the wheel. First off, she could have been arrested for not driving. I think she was driving though. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because it looks like they pull her over in her car earlier. So obviously she can't be. Wait, I can't tell. Oh yeah, she was in a car. Okay. So she wakes up later. Okay. But she wakes up later, but it worked for that moment. And I thought that was kind of an interesting little video there. Just like this whole age regression thing, that these kids go through. They have to get her through a couple processes. Yeah, they got to like fingerprint her and stuff. Now when she turns 18, these charges will probably be dismissed. I don't think they would charge her with an adult, as an adult. So she'll be fine. Hopefully she takes this as like a learning lesson to, try to do better and make better choices for herself in her life. Because, when you're young, you do feel invincible, right? You feel like you can do anything. But I thought that was a cute little moment there. It was sad that she had to go through that, but well done by the officer. So here's another wholesome video for a palate cleanser, and this is Saw Me as a Person. Video shows traffic stop turned into a moment of hope for a recovering mother. Now, obviously, this one hits close to home because I'm in recovery myself.
On 9, a moment of humanity captured on one deputy's body camera. One woman says the act of kindness changed her life.
Give me a hug? Yeah. Come here.
Channel 9's Cabarrus County reporter Hannah Getz heard about this story months ago and pushed the courts to release the video. And tonight, we finally get to share it with you.
It's always nice to see a cop doing, like, good work out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially after we saw the videos, the last time we were live, we covered those PA detectives that were gunned down. You know, I'm always here to celebrate cops doing good jobs.
From the lens of Cabarrus County Deputy Sean Singleton's body camera, this view is nothing out of the ordinary. A standard traffic stop.
The reason I stopped you is 61 and a 45.
But in his line of work, it's also not out of the ordinary to have an interaction like this.
You wouldn't put your lights on until after I slowed down.
Right.
I was going the speed limit.
No, but I clocked you at 61 and a 45. I didn't stop you there. What's with the attitude? Just curious.
Caitlin Ricchini says she was heading home from church when she got pulled over that Sunday.
And I meet him with absolute attitude. Just absolute attitude. We're not allowed to have bad days.
No, everybody's entitled to a bad day.
So
I understand that. Like I said, but
over on a day is not fun.
yeah, I can understand that completely.
Amen there.
Okay, but like, I'm trying to be nice and courteous.
You can get pulled over on a great day and still make it a terrible day. I had a cop behind me coming home from work the other day, and he was running my plates. He was looking for every reason he could to pull me over, but I wasn't speeding. All my papers were legit, and he eventually had to leave me alone. But I could see him behind me typing into his computer, like looking at my car, looking down, looking at my car, looking down, looking at my car, looking down. So he was typing in everything he could, trying. I could have swore he was looking for any reason possible to pull me over, and I wasn't doing anything illegal. I used my turn signals, I used my blinkers, I was driving the speed limit, I was taking my time. You know, I know the rule. I know how the rules of the road work, and he couldn't get me on anything. Eventually, he gave up and then went after someone else. But I was just kind of annoyed. I'm like, really, dude? Like, I can see you back there trying your hardest to find a reason to pull me over.
This to you, and like I'm getting a lot of heat.
I could tell immediately that it was not the best of encounters. She was very aggravated.
I come from a background where I don't do cops. I can't stand cops.
Keeping his composure.
Yeah, exactly, Carla.
License, and decided, despite the heated interaction, to let her off with a warning.
I understand you're having a day, so I'm not trying to make it any worse. This is a warning ticket. Pretty slow down. That's it. No court date, no fines, no nothing.
61 is, you know, while it's fast, it's not, you know, crazy fast enough to want to get a, you know, I think a warning's right for this situation. Now, obviously, you can't, if she was doing like 70 or 80, it's different. But 61 and a 45 is, you know, it's only like 15 miles per hour over the speed limit. I had a cops follow me for 20 blocks around turns and only to back off in the end. I know exactly. Yeah, it's like they're looking for a reason to pull you over if they could. Now, if they had pulled me over last month before I got my inspection updated, I might have gotten pulled over. But I got everything's all taken care of.
I ask you pay attention to the speed limit signs. Get to where you're getting to safely.
In that moment, something changed.
You know, I could tell something was going on, and you know, I just asked a question, you know, and sometimes it elicits an answer that you expect, and sometimes it elicits an answer that you don't expect.
Are you good?
No.
No?
Anxiety is killing me.
Okay.
I come from a background, I'm clean and sober now, so
Okay.
I don't, like, I've always had bad incidents with cops, so.
Okay.
I can relate to that so much, dude. I still go through a complete panic when I have a cop behind me because of all the years that I'd have drugs in the car and I'd see a cop and I would be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I still get that to this day, even though I don't have any drugs in the car, obviously, but I still feel what she feels. Like, you know, you just get that major anxiety when there's a cop around because you're like, oh my God, do I have anything on me? And even though I'm like 5 years clean, I still, in my back of my head, I'm always like, oh my God, is there anything in the car? And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm 5 years clean. What could they possibly find in here? You know, it seems maybe he is trying to change her attitude against cops. Yeah, I mean, you know, people don't like getting pulled over. Let's be honest. You know, if you're a law-abiding citizen, I'm sure for her too. She's had bad experiences with cops and stuff. So, hey, Miss Gemma, how you doing?
Deputy Singleton offering words of encouragement, having no idea what Caitlin was going through until this moment.
Is there anything I can do for you? You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you need help with anything at all? Do you need a hug?
Yeah.
Come here.
I think people don't realize how powerful a hug can be. Giving someone a hug who really needs it, man, that can make a big difference in their day.
Come here.
I moved down here to get away from an abusive relationship, and I'm clean and I'm sober for 4 months.
Caitlin revealed.
She's only 4 months in too. Yeah, you're still, when you're only 4 months in, you're dealing with so many different emotions. There's so many different emotions you're feeling when you're only 4 months in, because your body's like still not back to normal. It took me like a full year to get back to feeling normal in any type of way. But yeah, 4 months in, dude, you're definitely susceptible to a lot of things, especially your emotions.
She was in a fight for her life in sobriety. Battling years of addiction and abuse, she had just moved to North Carolina, leaving her 5-year-old son in Maryland so she could get clean and get him back.
Yeah, I've never hugged a cop before.
I've never hugged a cop before. Oh, she's adorable.
I've always been put in handcuffs by them.
Singleton had no idea his humanity and kindness that day changed Caitlin's life and possibly saved it.
I told him, I was like, I'm ready to give up. I was actually on my way to probably do something that wasn't in my best interest.
Oh man, see, that is a sign from God right there. If you don't believe in God or fate, if that's not a heads up that God wants you to stay on the right path, I don't know what is.
Take a deep breath, all right? Everything's gonna be okay. Okay? You're on the right path. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing now, okay? All right? Don't lose that hope.
That traffic stop happened back in March.
And I left my family and I left my son.
Now, 6 months later,
This is one of the guys that helped save my life.
Caitlin's celebrating 10 months clean.
Can you say hi?
I could tell she's still clean too, because first thing you do is gain a little bit of weight, and from the pictures that she showed before, she was like bone skinny. So she's definitely still on the straight and narrow, which is good for her. Good for her.
Doing good?
Can you say it's nice to meet you?
And introducing her son Isaiah to the deputy who gave her the strength to get him back.
It's good to see you again.
See, there's still good people out there,
Don't lose
folks.
that fight that's in you. Okay? Because there's something in you that's driving you to a better life, right?
Yeah.
All right? Okay? Don't lose that. Hang on to it.
He saw me as a person and not an addict. And he saw my heart. And he saw that I had potential when so many people had counted me out. It's like in a time of desperation, really, like where I was.
Oh, that's so true, dude. There is such a stigma around being an addict. Like, people can't get, and even addicts in the program always say, you're an addict first. No, the fuck I'm not. Like, I'm me first, and then I'm an addict. My name is, I'm EG. I just happen to be an addict at the same time. Because in the program, they teach you, be an addict first, and then you could be everything else. And I can understand that, why they say that, but I don't know. I feel like that you need to be who you are first, and then that you're somebody who struggles with addiction. I've always kind of felt differently about that. I heard EG. No, I'm not a bottom first. That is not what I am.
It's like question, like, God, where are you? And he sent me in. It's like an angel. I don't know. I really pray that Jesus blesses you for your kindness, sir.
I'm gonna pray for you too.
Thank you.
In Cabarrus County.
You have no idea how much this means to me.
Hannah Getz, Channel 9, Eyewitness News.
Good story. Good stuff. Thank you, Falk. Falk found us that one. We don't always just cover really sad stuff on here. Sometimes we need to remind ourselves that humanity is good inherently. There's way more good people in the world than there are bad people in the world. And I think sometimes we just need to remember that, because it is so easy to get caught up in all these negative stories all the time. And just being able to take time out of your day to realize that there's people like this guy out here. Now, I don't know. Would he have treated her any different if she was a man? I don't know. But the fact that she's a cute girl, maybe he was a little nicer. But, you know, it'd be interesting to see if that would have played out the same if he was a guy struggling. But for this particular story, I love this. I think we need more like this. I think cops need to remind themselves, yeah, that sometimes, you know, your job's hard and you're stressed, but yeah, he's out here doing the right thing and making sure that, you know, people are looking at them a little differently. So, all right. Well, that's Hot Topics, folks. Well, that was a palate cleanser. Oh, I got a burp. Okay, I don't got a burp, apparently. All right, so main event time. So going from good types of people to the worst type of people. All right, this is Karen body cams. I thought we'd do something a little different tonight. Not just focusing on the work. Like, this is just people who need to stay in their own lane. And I'm sure everybody in here at one time or another has dealt with a Karen doing not such great things. Like, people who just need to just kind of take, like, step back a little bit and maybe, you know, work on themselves a little bit here. So this is the Karen body cams. This is 20 minutes long, so there's we'll do 2 things tonight. This obviously won't be enough to get us to the kind of bad people. Yeah, this is the kind of bad people we can laugh at. So that's a good thing, right? This is the kind of people that we can go, oh, thank God I'm not that person. Very Jerry Springer-esque. All right. So let's take a look. This is from Dr. Insanity. 3.27 million subscribers. This has 3.7 million views on it. If there's one thing people can get down with, it's dealing with a Karen.
This entitled Karen is about to attack this police officer in the most brutal way possible and be forced to face the consequences.
Get out of here. Get the...
Oh my God.
But that's just one of 5 examples of when stupid Karens try to fight cops and learn why you should never mess with the law. Starting with the case of Jenny Rose Saunders, who was found on April 26, 2022, driving a car with a suspended registration. However, when a local officer went to confront her about this, she decided to give them a night they wouldn't forget.
How are you, man? Officer Balzar, Scotts Place Police. Your license, registration, insurance?
Yeah, thank you.
You have your license? You have your license, registration, insurance?
Yep, no problem. Thank you.
I need your license.
Yeah, that's not typically how you handle that situation. You don't start off by being like, yeah, thank you, no thanks, I'm not interested. That's not how that works at all. You can't do that.
Ma'am, your license, registration, and insurance. If you don't comply, I will break the window and you will be placed under arrest. You understand that?
Notice the last person, right? They had attitude too, but she let the window down and was still complying. Although she was giving him attitude, she was still complying with what he asked. This girl, no, not a complete opposite. And that's just gonna be a recipe for disaster moving forward. I haven't seen any of these, so I'm reacting to these with you. But yeah, you can already see where this is heading.
In typical Karen fashion, she starts by being as awkward as physically possible and refuses to talk to the cops. If this is all that this case entailed, then it'd be just another day in the life for these officers. But this was just the start of an extremely dangerous and shocking situation.
Ma'am, step out of the vehicle.
Sorry, I'm trying to call someone to make sure that I'm safe.
Step out of the vehicle. You are safe. Stop.
Oh my God, is she gonna try to catch his hand in the window? That is a bad move right there.
I do not feel safe.
I do not feel safe. That's the favorite move. I do not feel safe. I do not feel safe. Yeah, well, you probably should have, you know, complied, and you probably would have been better off.
Don't trap my arm. Don't trap my arm.
Now she's got an assault on a police officer on top of whatever this traffic stop could have been. It could have been nothing. Could have been a ticket. Could have been a warning. But since she wants to act up and act all crazy, now she's getting hit with charge after charge.
Hey, ma'am, lower the window. You're gonna.
I think you're right, Azor. It's not gonna end well.
Lower your window with your other arm.
Ma'am,
lower your window with your other arm.
This officer is now trapped and unable to move, but that doesn't...
Look, you could see his arm pinned in this window here. What was she thinking? What goes through these people's minds? I'm not safe. I'm not... Again, now you're really not safe.
Doesn't seem to concern the woman, and instead of winding down the window and complying with orders, she decides to escalate things even further.
You are now under arrest.
Ma'am,
you are now under arrest.
Ma'am, lower the window.
You are now under...
Oh my God, is she pushing it back up again?
Ma'am, lower the window.
Now she's pulling him.
Lower the window.
She's actively fighting him in the cockpit. In the cockpit. Now she's actively fighting him in the driver's seat.
Send an additional unit.
There, now they don't have to worry about that window at all. And she asked for that 100%. What do you call a male Karen? I'm asking because I run into them all the time. I think they're called Kevins, right? There is a name for a male Karen. Computer. What's the name for a male Karen? Oh, they didn't want to answer. I'm pretty sure there's a name for... No, a Chad is like a cool guy. A Chad is like a total badass. Let me see here. But I'm pretty sure that male Karens have... They call them Kens, Richard... Oh, so they're still picking it out. So they're called Kens, or Richards, or Brad, or Jeremy, Carlos, Brian. Chad is a common alternative. But a Chad is like, I always thought like being a total Chad was like a good thing. It means like you're ripped, you're an alpha male. So I don't think Chad fits. This one's male Chad. The male equivalent of a Karen is a Chad. Other terms used for men who exhibit entitled, aggressive, and demanding behavior. And see, I don't think so. I don't think that that's what the term Chad is typically used as. A Chad is typically someone who is like cool and like, you know, like if someone says, "Oh, dude, he's a total Chad," like that usually means like he's don't mess with me now, boss. I just got a new haircut. Check me out. You know, like gorilla. Like that's what I've always thought the term Chad was. It doesn't have the same ring as Karen's, but I think a Ken probably works better.
Get out of the car. Why? Under arrest now.
Why? What did I do? I'm just trying to call my lawyer.
Raise the window, an officer.
I didn't.
You do not get to call your lawyer at the traffic stop. You just shut your mouth, do what the cops say, and then you call your lawyer when you're in the prison. You can't call your lawyer while you're at the traffic stop.
Realize you could put my...
Yeah, the internet is lying to us. I'm telling you right now, a Chad is not the male Karen. A Chad is a totally different name.
He's doing this right now.
You're under arrest.
What did I do? Can you tell me what I did, you
You're arrested
guys?
for aggravated assault against a police officer.
Yep, there you go.
Tell me what I did.
Pretty obvious.
You're under arrest.
Under arrest
Step out of the car. Step out of the car.
I don't know. What am I under arrest for? It couldn't possibly be the fact that I pinched your arm into the window after not complying with your orders.
Turn around. Turn on your back.
Under arrest for what? Can you
Aggravated assault.
How is there aggravated assault? Could you please tell me?
Karens like this always seem to have a major case of selective hearing and...
Listen, y'all be doing yourselves a big favor. You just listen to what the cops have to say. Fight it in court. You don't fight with the cops that are doing it because they're going to... First off, they don't have any say in... Like, they can drop the charges or whatever and not arrest you. But at the end of the day, the person you need to be arguing with is the judge, not the cops.
and only choose to listen to things that benefit them. Initially, this was just a simple traffic law stop and could have even been a misunderstanding or false flag. But her violence and ignorance landed her with an assault charge and the bill for a broken window.
Yeah, and not to mention that she's probably going to have way bigger charges now, which is just making her life harder on herself. All she had to do was just cooperate. That doesn't mean the cops are always in the right, but if the cops are in the wrong, you go to court and you fight it with the judge.
Real quick. Yeah, search her now.
Serious right now?
Yeah, you're under arrest.
Do you have a mother? Do you have a sister?
Yes, Zero. Chad is typically a masculine dominant male, nothing like a bitchy Karen. So I agree with you, E.G. Chad is the wrong thing to call him. Yep, thank you. That's you laid it out better than I did.
We're past that already. You're under arrest for aggravated assault. He told you multiple times to lower your window, open the door, and then when he put his arm through your window and you intentionally raised the window and then hurt this officer, now you're under arrest.
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
You are accusing me of something I did not do.
You're not.
It's on video, lady. I think they don't realize that these cops, those body cams that these cops wear are pretty small, and a lot of times they don't realize that they're being filmed. This is the fastest way to make your day way worse.
Step into the vehicle, watch your head.
Yeah, so can I...
Step into the vehicle and watch your head.
No, definitely not, Fowler.
Perhaps the most shocking part of this case is that this woman isn't drunk and she's not on drugs. She's just high on entitlement and displaying only the worst symptoms.
That is truly scary. Like, at least, you know, people who are drug addicts or drunk act like that because they are not thinking clearly, but this lady's thinking clearly, and this is how she's choosing to behave. What a nightmare for everybody else that she has to deal with on a regular basis.
So you're not giving me any chance to retrieve my stuff or make sure my things are okay?
Stay there.
Why? You're not going to tell me why I was pulled over to begin with?
Watch your foot. Watch your foot. You explain everything. Just watch your foot.
No, you're not explaining.
And things don't change back at the station either.
Oh my God, is she gonna act up here too? People don't realize just because you've ended up in a police station doesn't mean you can't get more charges. Like, just because you're locked up doesn't mean you can't get more charges. This is primarily where the most people get more charges added on to their charges that they're already dealing with. Like, just do what they say. Honestly, yeah, it's gonna inconvenience you for that day, but now she's gonna be probably put on parole and all this other stuff too. It's just not worth it.
Do you guys plan to put your hands against the wall? On the wall.
Yeah, Blue Jay. I always thought it was a Kyle, a Ken, or a Kevin, is what I've always kind of assumed it to be.
No. I really do not want to. Do you want to get obstruction too? You're not following instructions is your problem. They're on the wall. No, they're not. They're not touching. Are you going to clean them? Put them on the wall.
Are you going to clean this wall? That wall doesn't even look that dirty.
I'm not going to tell you again.
So could you clean it for me, please?
Do you? No.
Oh, your hands on the wall. I'm putting them on the wall.
Ma'am, I'm not going to have sex with you.
They're not moving. I
Place
assure
them.
you.
I don't want your
God,
shirt.
why is she so...
Put your hands.
She's just... this is a control thing for her, I think. I think this is... she just desperately wants some type of... She's probably a control freak, and she just desperately wants some type of control in the situation. Yeah, it's entitlement. But I do think with these people, it's specifically control issues they have. They don't want anybody having any control over them whatsoever.
Hands on the wall now. I'm not asking you a question. Can I pee? Place your arms on
Can
the
I
wall.
pee?
I have to hold
Anything to take back control in the situation. It's so fit with the K from the female. Yeah.
Can I pee when I'm done? Wow. If somebody could just, listen, it would be so hard, right? It would be done already.
I'm so sorry that you have such a life, because I do too. But Jesus, you picked the wrong job.
Yeah, I picked the wrong job.
Yeah, you did.
Thankfully,
She's really lecturing the cops on what their life choices are. Yeah, she's the one in jail.
Jenny Rose was taught a harsh lesson. When she was charged with aggravated assault on a police officer, resisting arrest, and obstruction of justice, it was also quickly discovered that she had an active warrant out for her arrest in New Jersey and a fugitive warrant out in Pennsylvania.
Well, that explains why she was trying to call her lawyer. She had active warrants. Now that should have made you behave even more. So she was going to jail either way. I guess this was her way of acting out. But this goes to show you that she probably, it's not the first time that she's dealt with cops like this in their
This
past.
clearly wasn't the first time Jenny Rose had been on the wrong side of the law, but at least she didn't lash out at the cops in the same way this next Karen did.
Oh, you see that leg kick? She did a backwards leg kick. That's a guaranteed assault charge right there.
In the morning of May 26, 2023, a janitor had asked this woman to leave the bathroom so he could enter and clean everything. But the woman...
Yep, that's why she didn't want to give her license to the cops, because she didn't want to give her license to the cops, because if she gave her license to the cops instantly, that is getting her pinned for her warrant.
Got extremely aggressive with the janitor, arguing
What's
and
up,
shouting
little?
profanities at him. Cops were called, and this is the extremely strange and violent interaction that followed.
Yeah, ID on us.
No,
You don't?
no, why do I need to give you my ID?
Because I'm conducting an investigation.
I'm going to report you when I get done, give
Okay,
you the
what's your name?
information that I need, and I'm putting this, I'm telling
What's
you
your
I'm
name?
filming this.
Despite her
I'm
reluctance
not
to give it
feeling-
up, the
I'm not
cops soon
feeling
learned
this.
her name was Maya and that she was far from pleased with the events of that morning, already claiming that she was going to report this officer just seconds into the interaction. And as you may expect, her unsatisfyingly stale demeanor wouldn't stop here.
All right, ma'am, you can lose the attitude or I'll just put you in handcuffs.
You can do what you gotta do.
You're not in control here, ma'am.
Yes, I am.
So,
So again, dude, I think that's all this is with these people, is just control, man. It's just all control.
I'm gonna tell you right now, you can lower your voice. I'm gonna put you in handcuffs and take you to jail for disorderly conduct. I'm going to inform you of some city ordinances, such as we have a no camping in the city of Key West. Essentially, if you have a barrier between yourself and the ground and or your personal elements, that is camping. It does not matter if you're asleep or not. If you're caught camping, from this point forward, you can and will be arrested.
The cop then politely informs Maya of a few laws pertinent to her current situation, as she seems to be camping in the local parks, which in the city of Key West is illegal. But
So that's what Carla just they just answered your question there. It seems like she's homeless, and now I feel bad for her that she's homeless. Nobody should ever have to live like that. But what is this, Key West, Florida that she's in right now? Unfortunately, like, you can't, you know, if you're not allowed to be homeless in the area, you know, you can't be there, unfortunately, regardless of your situation. But they should have, hopefully they would have like places for her to go.
predictably, she takes offense to this as well and threatens to send the video she took of this simple interaction to her lawyer.
She can afford a lawyer, but she can't afford an apartment.
If you turn around and film this,
I did.
there's
I gave that to my lawyer
Ma'am,
yesterday.
stop. Ma'am, I'm only going to tell you one more time not to raise
I'm
your
not
voice at me.
yelling. This is how
I have not
speak.
yelled at you.
So don't
I have
ask
not
me any
been
questions, because this is
Ma'am,
how I talk.
Ma'am, last warning. I'm just going to put you in handcuffs. You're not going to
I have a feeling that's not how she talks all the time.
yell at me. You're not going to scream at me.
If it is, that's
You're
a
gonna turn
nightmare
around and
for
follow
her.
the rules and regulations of all the parks and city beaches, because if you break any of those city ordinances, you can and will be arrested. Here's your identification. All these warnings will be annotated. Well, that's not very nice. That's very rude, actually.
Unfortunately, Maya didn't find this particularly funny and actually took so much offense that she decided to call 911
Oh my god, you're calling 911 on the cops. That's like the most Karen move of all time.
despite the cops' good.
What is the cop? What are you gonna say to the 911 operator? Can you send the cops? I'm here with cops. Well, the cops are already there. Yeah, but like the 911 operator's not gonna like override what the cops are doing. They don't have that type of power. They're dispatchers.
Will and letting her go. This prompted them to track her down just minutes after sending her on her way for another, more serious discussion.
Put your phone down. Put your bag down.
I'm glad you're not homeless anymore, Zero.
Turn around, face the wall. Put your hands behind your back.
She couldn't leave well enough alone.
I'm arresting you for mis-
Part of me wonders, though, if she wanted to be arrested so that she could just get off the ground for the night. You know, sometimes people who are homeless want to get arrested so they could just get off the ground for the night and be inside somewhere, like a shelter or something like that.
Houston 911. You do not have a legitimate emergency, and you have 2 police officers standing in front of you.
Let's go, so I can report you.
Stop. Face the wall.
Don't touch me. I do not want you patting me down.
It's about to
Anything.
escalate. It's about to pick up.
Do not touch me.
Ma'am, stop.
How are they supposed to
You're not
arrest
getting in my
you?
vehicle unless I search you.
So you need to call a female. Do not touch me.
That is not how
If
this
you
works.
touch me, I swear to God, I'm going to.
I kind of get the ethics of wanting a female there, you know?
I'm going to fight. I swear to God.
Separate your feet.
No, you're not touching me.
Ma'am.
You're not touching me.
Oh, there she had the kick. Now she got assault charges just like that. Bam. She just made her. Now she's going to be in jail for a while.
Stop me. Stop me. I got a
Yeah, contactless arrest. Can you guys arrest me without touching me? Here, can you just hand me the cuffs? I'll put them on myself.
You need to stop.
In fairness, she did warn them, and as the cop said, that's just not how this works. Maya is delivering a masterclass in how to turn what was initially just a simple discussion into a litany of criminal charges, and there was actually even more to this scuffle than meets the eye.
No, I did not bite you. I did not f***ing bite you.
Did I bite
What is that?
I did not do that.
All over.
You lying.
Right there.
You squirt me, and I do have injuries.
Ma'am?
You see that shit?
You need to
Don't
calm down.
play with me.
Ma'am?
You threw me to
Oh my god. Dude, this is just getting from bad to worse.
the ground like a f***ing man.
You tried to elbow me.
You can't.
Because you tried to touch my
Oh my god. Now she's claiming. Oh, it's not required if there's no female on duty, though. Yeah, I guess I don't know what the ethics are, and I'm sure state by state it changes.
Stop.
Get the from over me like
Do
that.
not.
Get off of me.
Stop.
If you squirt me up, that's more.
Well, you've already elbowed me, bit him.
Because you tried to touch my vagina.
Oh my god. She just loves yelling that word.
Nobody tried to touch
And you
your
did
vagina,
not get
ma'am.
elbowed. You lying now. You trying to make the
okay.
situation worse. But I got it on camera.
They got it on camera too. Like again, most cops, okay, 99% of cops these days wear body cams. It's always gonna be recorded. You pull out, all these people pull out their phones thinking they're gonna record stuff, but at the end of the day, those cops are not allowed to turn off their body cam footages.
And so do we.
Maya bit, kicked, slapped, and elbowed these cops in the takedown, and she's trying to claim that they were being abusive to her. Eventually, a second set of officers arrived on the scene to assess the situation, and would you believe it? She continued to act violent and disorderly and was taken into custody on 2 counts of battery on a cop, 1 of resisting arrest, and another of misusing 911. Maya was definitely old enough to know better, but it's almost more—
Yeah, but my idea is that if she's ended up homeless, chances are she probably ended up there because she has a history of making poor decisions, if I had to guess.
disappointing to see an 18-year-old act the same way. This girl was pulled over after multiple calls were received alerting police to what seemed like a heavily impaired driver. Apparently she was swerving around the road, driving into oncoming traffic, and had even hit multiple things with her car.
It's not a good idea.
grocery shopping, filling bills, just adult things.
Where were you coming from?
I live on the way to pick up on my friend, and I don't like doing things
She has it on camera. She was recording them with her phone, I guess.
by myself because I have anxiety. So
I'm pretty sure it's illegal to turn off your body cam, at least for the cops. They get in trouble for that. But yeah, I can understand, recording it. But the cops have, obviously it's on body cam because we just watched it. But most cops are required to keep their body cams on now, and if they turn it off, they have a reason. They have to say why they're turning it off. But yeah, I mean, keep that recording going by all means. But if you're the one causing the problems, you're just recording yourself doing illegal stuff.
people coming on rides with me, so I was gonna go pick her up so I can.
But it seemed like—
Yeah, oh my god, this is like the telltale sign for someone who's an addict. They always want to give more information than they need to. Like, she's giving them this whole big elaborate story. Obviously, the cop goes over, sees that there's pills inside the car. And that was a telltale sign. I could have, before the cop even saw the pills, I could guarantee that there was going to be drugs involved here just because of the way that she was telling her story.
a friend wasn't the only anxiety alleviant that this girl needed on her trip to complete all of her adult tasks, as the cops immediately spotted several suspiciously rectangular pills on the front seat.
We pretty much stay simple.
She may have, the previous one, Blue Jay, she may have like left her phone recording or something. I don't know. I don't know how she got it on recording. I mean, it got her on recording though, that's for sure.
Hey, I said I'll get it. Stand over there at the...
So chances are she wanted to go back in there to try to get the drugs and take them, because the biggest fear for an addict is like not being able to take the drugs that you just spent money on. So she probably just wanted to get in there and try to quickly put one in her mouth or something like that so that she could go to jail high.
The end of your car. Do you hear me?
Okay, but if you were more respectful about it, if I'm just saying, all right, if we're all humans here, if you were more respectful about it, I'm just saying.
Where's your ID at? Is it in here?
Can I look for my wallet? Well, like, why
Oh, I got it.
for my
I have a feeling there's going to be more in the wallet.
wallet? The thing is, that's my property. You have no choice.
Actually, I do, because I found freaking Xanax bars on your driver's seat. If you want.
There you go. Yeah, the Xanax bars are like the devil, dude. That is the one drug that I think that I've done that I become way too addicted to. Xanax bar, and the fastest way to end up in cuffs. You take Xanax bars, it's the fastest way to put you in prison for sure. Like Percocet's one thing, I could operate fine on them, but if I take Xanax bars, dude, forget about it, dude. Forget about it.
Want to explain something? Explain those.
Girl, the fact that you're just looking through my stuff.
They were in plain view.
Yep.
As the interaction continues, the girl seems to become more and more incoherent and confused.
So she probably took the Xanax bars. What is Xanax exactly? So it's a what's called a it's not a barbiturate. It's a well, I can remember this. It's got like a really long name, but you basically take it and it shuts down your central nervous system. They give it to people who struggle with really bad anxiety because it shuts down your central nervous system a little bit and it kind of calms you down. The problem is when you take too many of them, it turns you into a straight up animal because you basically have no clear thinking whatsoever. Like if you take too many Xanax bars, it makes you turn into basically a feral beast. It is not an SSRI. It is a benzodiazepine. That's what it's called. Benzodiazepine. So Klonopin, Xanax, other drugs of that sort, Valium, all are benzodiazepines, or benzos as they call them. SSRIs are not narcotics. The difference between a Xanax and an SSRI is if you take an SSRI, it's not going to have an immediate effect on you. You typically have to take those for like 2 weeks before you would start feeling any type of difference. It's a much more safer route. You take a Xanax, 40 minutes later, you're off to the races, basically. It hits way harder, which is why people use them to get high. Typically, when I took them because I would just forget all my problems when I was on them. And that's why people like taking them. And you become fearless, basically. But you almost become so fearless that you make some really bad mistakes.
It's almost like she knows the penny's dropped and starts to become more and more confrontational.
No, I don't even know if I agree with what this guy's saying. It's probably she took the Xanax bar and now it's starting to kick in. So she's starting to get more brave. And this is just a recipe for getting more charges.
Would you like to sit down on the grass over there?
I can sit down in my car.
No, you
What if
cannot.
I just have like my hands up?
No,
Everything?
you're not getting back in your car. You can sit on the grass over there, or we can sit in the back of this car here.
She wants to sit back in her car because she probably knows that there's another drug in there somewhere that she could try to reach for when they turn their back. That's what I would have done if I was still in active addiction. I would have done everything I could to get back to my car where my drugs were that I could take.
Whichever one you prefer. Okay?
I'm gonna get my phone.
No, you're not. You're staying right here.
Okay, but why can't I get my phone to like at least have?
You're
my
not getting
own
back in that
thing?
car until they're done.
Okay, but I feel like I should be able to. It's my right to like record anything that's happening in
Everything's
my
being
life.
recorded right
I
here.
know, but why can't I record it for myself?
You're not going back in that car.
But why can't I? Record
You can request this recording.
You can come with me to my car. My phone
Hey.
is right on that seat. One of y'all can come to me to that seat to get my car.
These are comfort mechanisms for these people. One, it's the drugs that's her comfort mechanism. If she can't have that, the next comfort mechanism is her phone. So she probably wants to go in there and try to delete texts. She doesn't want to record this. She wants to delete any texts that incriminate her friends that she probably bought them off of, or the dealers. Because if the dealer gets caught with her, with that guy's number, then he's gonna go down too, and then she's not gonna be able to buy drugs in the future. It's all a big thing.
Unfortunately for her, the cops have now had enough of her rambling and decide to get down to business, and we get the pleasure of seeing her try to explain away everything.
Has your car always been like that in the front?
Yes, I have. Yeah, honestly, what happened first? Okay, see this part of my car?
I do.
One day I came back from work, was getting off and shit.
So it looks like some people are getting buffering, some people are not getting buffering. Sorry guys, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe it's on the YouTube end. Hey, y'all, just got here and it's just trying to load. That's weird. I wonder why it's having so much issues loading. Is anybody else on YouTube having any issues?
That was missing.
Okay, Alex says it's fine on her end.
When I got here, I saw your demeanor, your actions, and all that stuff, okay? I'm looking at your
So then it's not YouTube. It must be something going on with you guys.
I'm looking at your eyes, and I think that you might be on the influence of some type of narcotic. Not alcohol, but I believe in narcotic.
Yeah, she's probably on Xanax, so she's going to get a DWI for this, which is actually worse than a DUI.
Okay? So based off of what I'm seeing so far, would you be willing to do a field sobriety test to dispel my suspicions that you're under the influence of any type of narcotic?
It's never a good idea to decline these tests, but with how terribly the girl performed in them, she'd probably have a better chance of testing her luck in court. As you may expect, she was quickly put in handcuffs, and that's when her behavior went from dazed to dangerous.
I work with the harassment. Ooh, damn, girl. Touching me up. Hey, down. I said, face down.
Again, this is a direct result of the Xanax that she took in. I'm convinced now she's taken Xanax, but she wanted to probably take the rest of the pills, but she was just hoping the cops wouldn't see him. Somebody who's on Xanax wouldn't even think to put the Xanax away, and that's why they were sitting out on the seat.
You got her?
Now, the sad thing is for her, right, she's acting like this now, but the minute those Xanax wears off, she's going to wake up and go, what did I do? I can imagine that this is not how this girl typically behaves, but I guarantee that the minute those Xanax wear off, she's going to be like, what did I do to myself? Why did I do this? Oh my God, I'm so stupid. This is 100% the drugs.
Oh, you want to shoot?
Yeah, see, this is exactly why you gotta stay away from those freaking Xanax, dude. It's bad. It's a bad situation to be in.
Oh, you really want to choke me out, girl? Bitch, I was not doing nothing to you. You want to choke me.
With the delirious girl finally secured in the back seat, the only danger left now is to the sanity of the officer made to drive her back to the station.
Last time one of you guys took me to the mental hospital, my grandparents could not find me for weeks! Okay, and you officers were like, oh, you're gonna be okay, you're gonna say this is wrong, but all you guys do is lie.
That's gonna be a fun ride out there.
Yeah. Man, I can still hear her screaming. I can still hear her.
Oh my God. Dude, you could hear her in the car scream. Again, this is, I'm going to just be honest. It's 100% the drugs that she took that are making her act like this. I wouldn't imagine this is how this girl is normally. You can see in real time the drugs take over as she's being arrested. When they first pulled her over, she probably hadn't fully set in yet, and then it set in as she was being arrested, and that's when she started getting violent.
Jeez.
Unfortunately, it's unknown what she was charged with, but it's likely amounted to a DUI and resisting. Lastly, though, the only place more common to see a Karen than screaming at cops is at an airport, screaming at cops. At Salt Lake City International Airport, this woman had just been informed that she'd have to give up her aisle seat. And
now, the scary thing is that girl at least was on drugs, and I'd imagine she probably doesn't behave like that in other parts of her life. However, the other person, though, who got arrested was on zero drugs whatsoever. So what in the hell was causing that? That's just who she is. That's
and
terrifying.
Instead take one in the middle. A reasonable request with many possible causes, but it ended up causing her to go absolutely ballistic and giving us one of the most hilarious Karen freakouts of all time.
I told them, then the girls let me sit where I wanted to sit, and then they took me off the plane. But I walked off allowing. They did not arrest me. They did not handcuff me. They did not touch me to get off the plane.
What's going on? So nobody.
They need to let me, either they need to buy me a hotel ticket and get me back to New York, or they need to let me aboard the plane.
If she wants to get back on the plane, then she's gonna have to calm down first. Airlines like these value customer comfort more than anything and reserve every right to refuse boarding. There's a
Yeah, and the comfort is for the other people, not her. Like, she believes that this is her world. She's got main character syndrome, but really they took her off for the safety of the other passengers, not for her.
Reality where this...
My guess is she probably took something too that's got her acting like this. At least I hope so, because if this is how she normally is, then that's not a good situation to be in whatsoever.
Woman calms down, apologizes, and accepts her middle seat fate. But that'd be too simple for a Karen like this.
Your behavior, okay?
My behavior?
Yeah.
Okay, I got a plane for the aisle seat.
She bought a whole plane, guys. That's her plane. You don't realize it. That's why I think this is probably drug related as well.
They gave me an E, which is a middle seat.
Right.
That is not what I paid for.
You have your ID?
What does that have to do with anything?
Right now the police are here. We're going to find out the who, the why, the what. So I just need to know
Okay, well,
who
you
you are.
better.
Yeah, let's go have a seat over there.
Let's come over here so that...
Let's go have a seat over there.
This is a losing battle because she bought a plane. You never win in these situations by getting loud. Like, it's not like the cops can even order the airline to let her on or anything. So I don't know what argument she thinks she's gonna win. And congratulations to her on buying the plane, though. That's incredible. I mean, I'd be mad too if that was my plane and I wasn't allowed on it.
All right, well, you better get me a hotel.
The entire entitlement.
To hear what people are saying. I'm allowed to hear.
And you're not allowed to hear the cops talk about what they're... Yeah, no, that's not how that works.
What they are saying.
Right there, because I'm going to catch up with you. Okay?
How is that thin ice? What have I done?
Public disturbing the peace.
That's why Officer Cross, listen to me. He's going to go...
What have I done on the plane?
Well,
I would like to ask you what I have done on the plane.
Her behavior is slowly becoming more and more combative, and she...
Oh, that is such... Dude, she got the Karen techniques down. The finger pointing, the This right here, 100% Karen look right here. This is 100% the Karen move. For sure.
He's going from annoyed to angry, prompting the cops to become
the finger
defensive
waving,
and put her back in her place.
You're going to be...
I don't live here.
Yeah, that's what I don't get, Carla. If she bought the plane, why can't she just tell everybody to get off her plane? She bought it. I mean, it's her plane.
I live in New York.
Well, good. Okay.
Dude, who's paying for my ticket?
You.
You got refunded.
I got refunded to live in Utah?
Yeah. We're going to walk out.
I gotta live in Utah now? What the hell? It sucks.
I don't live here. I don't know anyone here. If anything happens...
Well, then you probably should have behaved yourself so that you could get back home. That's probably what I would guess. If you're gonna not if you don't want to stay in Utah, then behave yourself so you can get back home.
I need to get a ride back to New York.
Delta is denying you service, okay? Delta Airlines...
Oh, she got kicked off of Delta. She must have really been acting up because, you know, Delta's not like prestige. It's not a bad airline, but it's, you know, it's not Spirit. But yeah, she must have been acting up big time.
Denying you service.
Why though? Because you guys denied me service. Why? You don't even know why.
Okay,
let's walk out.
And it's not up to the cops whether or not you get onto the plane. Wait until... Oh yeah, I know. Wait until you get onto the plane. It's up to the airline. The cops have no say. The cops can't order Delta to let you fly. They have no power over that.
Let me a flight back to New York.
Okay.
I don't live in Utah.
Jacqueline,
I've never been here.
Jacqueline,
dude,
walk out. We can work on you.
Where am I gonna go?
I can answer those questions. We're gonna walk out.
No, I don't want to go anywhere. Where am I gonna go in Utah?
Her frustration is somewhat understandable, as she's now stuck in a state she doesn't know, with nowhere to go, but she's only making it worse by acting this way, and there's only one way this can go.
You keep doing this yelling.
Now she's gonna have to go back to... Now she's not gonna be able to leave Utah. She's stuck in Utah now. Utah owns her. And then she's gonna try to leave.
we're gonna look at
And she's gonna have to come back for this trial.
criminal charges, okay? Disorderly conduct.
Dude, this is on you, though.
This is not on me, okay?
Yeah, this is on you.
You caused a disturbance.
That's not how that works at all.
I did not cause a disturbance.
Jacqueline?
They told me I would get an aisle.
Jacqueline?
All right, dude. Give me
All
my
this over an aisle seat.
I didn't do.
Yeah, she just snatched the phone away. Yep, that's first. Yeah, that's it for her. It's over.
Let's go train.
Stop!
Your hands behind your back.
Stop! I don't live in Utah.
Stop resisting. Hands behind your back.
I don't
Hands
live in
behind your back.
Utah.
Hands behind your back. Stop resisting. Hands behind your back.
Ow, I f***ing live in Utah.
We know you don't live in Utah, crazy. Wow, it's actually impressive. She got a whole plane and a free room all in one. Yeah, I know, dude. It's nuts.
Stop resisting.
Had she behaved herself, one, she probably could have got back on. I don't know if she would have let her back on the plane, but they probably at least would have refunded her. Maybe. This is just basic, manners, is what she's lacking here. Just basic manners.
Let me just go home. Let me just go home.
Put this
Let
hand
me
behind
just
your back.
go home. No.
Jacqueline.
Stop resisting.
Utah has her now, boys. She belongs to the state of Utah now.
Jacqueline. Put your hand behind your back. Stop resisting. Where's your car, Sarge?
Get up.
Right there.
How embarrassing. Oh my God. And then she had to go and drop the N-word. Jesus.
This arrest might be a blessing in disguise for the woman, though, as at least now she won't have to worry about finding accommodation because she'll be spending the night behind bars.
Yeah, but the problem is, though, the minute she gets out, they're just gonna let her out, and then she's gonna have to figure out her way back to the airport, hope that they'll let her fly. Like, she just messed up her life so bad right there, dude. And then even if she does get back to New York, she's gonna have to fly back to Utah for the hearing, and if she doesn't show up, she's gonna have a warrant for her arrest out of Utah. So, all this because of an aisle seat, guys. All that because she didn't want to sit in the middle. How insane, man. How insane. This is why it doesn't pay to be this way, man. Just take your L's. Take your L's and move on like a adult. She just made this situation 10 times worse for herself, dude. So much worse for herself. It's hard to really wrap my mind around just how terrible she made that situation for herself. Alrighty, Rue. I think we got one more thing we're gonna take a look at. This one's fun. So this is called Truly Unsolved Missing 411 Cases out of Pennsylvania. Obviously, I live in Pennsylvania, so I thought it'd be cool to take a look at some things from my own state and learn a little bit about some missing cases that have gone on in my own state. So a little bit of mystery here, a little bit of, what do you think happened here? And so it should be pretty good. Let's take a look here.
We gave our intern a shot at preparing the intro for the video. Needless to say, she will not be getting paid. I'm Aiden Mattis, and welcome back to the Lore Lodge. Just to be clear, that was the intro she came up with. We are paying our employees. Back at the start of 2025, I began looking into the missing 411 disappearances here in my home state of Pennsylvania. There were a couple of reasons for that.
PA
One
represent!
being I was interested to see what these kinds of cases would look like in an area with which I was more familiar, but the other was the one that really got me interested. At the beginning of Missing 411 Eastern United States, Paulides gives lists of all the missing people in each of his clusters, generally grouped by state or broader US region like New England. The lists usually involve a few to a dozen names, with the smallest being northeastern Minnesota at just 3 people, and the second largest being the Great Smokies cluster, which we covered in 2024, at 14 individuals. Pennsylvania doesn't have a list. It just has the line, the whole state is a cluster. You see, the Keystone State is the largest cluster in the book at a whopping 39 cases, most of which involve children under the age of 16. Over the last several months, we've put out a couple of videos on the Pennsylvania
As a father, that is terrifying. That is a terrifying figure.
cluster, and if we're being honest, it's essentially non-existent, at least for the most part. There were certainly a couple of genuinely puzzling ones, like the girl who was found in plain sight along a rural highway in a place that had been searched multiple times, but nearly all of the disappearances Paulides wrote about were perfectly mundane cases of children who wandered off into the woods when their parents weren't looking, with a clear-cut kidnapping or two along the way.
Yeah, 411 used to be for information in PA. I guess now that's the code for a missing person in PA.
Pattern starts to break down, however, when you examine the cases involving older teenagers and grown adults. A 3-year-old probably can't...
Like, you'd have someone come up and say, what's the 411 on what's going on here? You know, that means, like, what's the information on what's going on here?
Articulate how they went missing or what happened while they were gone, but a 15-year-old can't. It's easy to understand how a 7-year-old might get lost in a trailless section of the woods, but less so when the missing person is a 37-year-old on an established hiking path. The cases of missing adults in Pennsylvania are by far the most intriguing, though not always for the same reason. In some of them, law enforcement made strange decisions that didn't match up with procedure or even common sense, and in others, the disappearance left behind so few clues that even the FBI would have struggled to track down the answers.
Yeah, I thought this was a find from Phallic. She's been finding all of our stuff, so she's doing a great job. This has been, but yeah, a little bit of mystery I think would be cool.
These are the cases where it's abundantly clear that whatever happened, it was the work of some kind of monster, be it human or otherwise, and today we're going to go over several of them. Sometimes there are two very different narratives of the same story.
What's up, Mad Rambles?
Karen Cooney is one such example. On July 8, 1968, 15-year-old Karen was helping with chores around her family's home in Corey, a small town in northwestern Pennsylvania's Erie County. As the story goes, Karen was outside hanging laundry out to dry when, at about 11 a.m., her mother and her 2 teenage brothers heard her screaming from the backyard. According to a July 9th article in the Pittsburgh Press, 13-year-old Dean and 12-year-old Michael, who had been working in the garden out front, threw down their tools and quickly ran around the side of the house to see what was the matter, only to find that their older sister was nowhere to be found. We looked, Dean told the press, but we couldn't see Karen, so we went inside and got Mom. The mother, Mildred Cooney, had also heard the scream, though she had assumed that her daughter had just been frightened by one of the small snakes common to Pennsylvania forests. When she learned that Karen wasn't there, however, she ran outside to look around for herself, and then called her husband, at work at the nearby furniture factory, to tell him what had happened. James Cooney wasted no time in seeking help for his missing daughter, and notified the state police as soon as he got off the phone with his wife. Even now, the area in which the Cooneys lived is surrounded by dense forests and broad swaths of farmland, and searching through the wilderness was going to require more manpower than just the family and their immediate neighbors.
You're doing great, Val.
Immediately jumped on the case.
Finding lots of good stuff.
Before long, troopers and volunteers were spreading through the swampy woodland. Using bloodhounds and a plane, they searched for hours in the hot afternoon sun, only calling things off when the sun dipped below the trees and darkness came over the forests.
This is like a parent's worst nightmare. Your kid gets kidnapped from the backyard of your own home.
Around 200 people, volunteers and law enforcement alike, were added again when dawn light came over the horizon, aided from the air by an additional helicopter out of Blairsville and on the ground by a pair of FBI agents from the Erie field office. While some might question such early involvement from the feds, in Karen's case this was likely due to a couple of significant factors. First of all, she was a minor, and the FBI has a mandate to assist in cases of missing children if requested by local law enforcement. Additionally, the New York state line is just 2 miles from where the Cooneys lived, so the possibility that she had been kidnapped and taken out of Pennsylvania was probably the primary reason for their involvement. Everyone was a bit surprised then, when Karen turned up just a half-mile from where she was last seen. She had wandered into a clearing near Leisure Lake, just a short ways southeast of the Cooney property, and was spotted from the Blairsville helicopter flying overhead.
Oh, wow. So she was found?
State troopers quickly made their way over to the location and found the missing teenager in good condition. Just to be sure, they had the helicopter take her to the local hospital in downtown Corey, where doctors confirmed that she appeared to be in a slight state of shock, but otherwise she was healthy. In fact, she was surprisingly free of scratches and mud, at least for a girl who had spent the last 27 hours wandering through the woods. It was a happy ending to a brief horror story, but that's where things get a little weird. The entire time that Karen had been missing, police were operating under the assumption that she had likely been kidnapped. According to the Latrobe Bulletin, her disappearance had been marked by a short scream cut off mid-shout, while the Pittsburgh Press reported that the only clues to the disappearance were some scuff marks in the grass where she was standing and a half-choked scream. A friend of Karen's, Betty Harvey, also gave police good reason to suspect a kidnapping when she reported that she had heard a car moving slowly in the vicinity around the time that Karen disappeared.
So
when she turned up alive and well, however, they very quickly changed their tune.
So is this not going to be a kidnapping? This is where this stuff gets really weird.
Her disappearance was deliberate, a trooper told the press. She took her time, she could have come out of there yesterday, but she didn't. She took her little religious book in there with her. She thinks she remembers a number of things she couldn't. She's imagining these things. Those things, it would seem, were very explicitly a description of a kidnapping. Mrs. Cooney told the papers that Karen was still hazy about what had happened, but that she remembered being chased from the house by a very big man with a knife. According to Karen's account of the event, the man chased her a long way through the woods until she eventually became exhausted and later fell asleep.
We get
Police,
this.
meanwhile,
We get the same thing, ING. We get Amber Alerts.
claimed that Karen told him she had been high-strung lately and decided to take a walk in the woods to get away from it all. Mrs. Cooney found that hard to believe, considering that Karen wasn't restricted from going for walks, often rode her pony through the woods, and never went off without permission. This wasn't the only inconsistent part of the story, either. Papers
Yeah, his hair's very spiky.
couldn't seem to agree on who the pilot of the helicopter was, nor whether or not Mrs. Cooney had been in the aircraft when Karen appeared in the clearing. Several papers reported that the pilot was a man named Ray Custer, while a number of others identified him as James Shearer, though all agreed he was from Blairsville. On top of that, some said she appeared very dazed and suggested she wandered out of the woods, while others wrote that she actively sought rescue and was jumping up and down and waving her arms when sighted. All of these reports came in on the same day, with the papers that reported her as waving her arms also reporting that the pilot was James Shearer, while the papers saying that she was dazed named Ray Custer. Another issue which called into question the narrative that Karen had walked off of her own accord was the fact that 2 other girls had gone missing in the same 2-day span. Edith McCreary had just disappeared from Titusville, 23 miles to the south, and Sheila Oldach had vanished from Harbor Creek, 20 miles to the northeast, on the same night as Karen. I couldn't find any reporting on either girl independently of the articles on Karen, but the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette reported that Sheila, too, had described being abducted and then held prisoner by a large man.
All right, New Moon, thank you for hanging out.
Like Karen, she was eventually recovered alive by state troopers not far from the highway and had no injuries besides some scratches to her neck. It could be a coincidence that all 3 girls disappeared around the same time, but due to the fact that there appears to be no reporting on the other 2 whatsoever, it's kind of hard to look for any further connections. The bizarre disappearances and the lack of police investigation, as well as the abrupt change of direction regarding what they believed happened as soon as the missing girls were found, weren't unique amongst the Pennsylvania cluster of cases. Decades earlier, in Philadelphia, another strange case of a missing young woman appeared in the papers. Her name was Elsie Flothmeyer, the 22-year-old daughter of Reverend Frederick Flothmeyer, and as a Philadelphia area native, this one genuinely puzzles me. Elsie was last seen alive in late February of 1932 in the Fox Chase and Burholm neighborhood on the northern outskirts of the city. Why this was included in a Missing 411 book, when these are supposed to be stories of odd disappearances in and around national and state parks, I do not know. My only guess is because it technically did involve a park, even if it was in fact a very small park in the middle of dense suburban sprawl. Out of place as it may be, however, it is still on the weird side, so it's worth discussing. According to Elsie's father, he had been taking her along on visits to parishioners' homes, and at around 4 p.m. on February 23rd, she asked him to let her out between stops so that she could go for a walk in Burholm Park. She agreed to meet back up with him at a cousin's house at 8 Chandler Street on the other side of the park, and with that she stepped out of the car at the corner of Tabor and Blay. The area looked a little bit different at the time, but the walk from that intersection through the park and to her cousin's house would have covered about 1.85 miles, that's about 3 kilometers, if she took the most direct route along the roads and trails. Reverend Flothmeyer thus expected to see Elsie arrive at the Wegner property on Chandler around 4:30, and when she didn't turn up, he began to worry. Elsie's father struck out to trace the path she would have taken.
Again, like, worst case scenario for any parent. I don't know, I could never drop my daughter off and just let her walk that far, but I guess this was like 1920, 1930s. Maybe, you know, the idea of something happened to her wasn't as, like, prevalent during this time.
But after walking from Chandler Street back to the intersection, he still couldn't locate her. According to the Lancaster Intelligencer Journal, the only trace he could find was that one of the park guards had seen her enter the park, and at that point, he contacted the police. There was very little reporting about the search itself, which lasted only 24 hours and ended with the tragic discovery of Elsie's body lying face downward in a ditch near a blackberry thicket in Burholm. The interesting part came with the reporting of how she was found and what authorities determined to be the cause of death. According to the Intelligencer Journal, the discovery was made by Lester Spurl, 18, and Luther Allenberg, 17, who were among the last to see the girl alive as she strolled through the vicinity Tuesday afternoon. Her body was quickly transported to the city morgue, where a coroner determined that exposure and exposure alone was the cause of death. It had been a cold night, and police surmised that Elsie had suffered some sort of mental lapse while walking through the park. While in many cases...
So she got, like, lost and then froze to death overnight? That seems suspicious to me.
As we see parents disagreeing with such findings, in this circumstance, the father was quoted as saying, "I feel that her mind must have become distraught when she found herself lost in a strange section of the city." And he agreed with authorities that her death must have been caused by some exposure. To be fair, that's not an inconceivable conclusion. By all accounts, Elsie had been struggling with her mental health for years. A breakdown caused by academic stress had at one point...
So, I mean, back then we didn't know as much about mental health as we do now, so I don't know, but it just seems like not a smart idea to let your mentally struggling daughter wander around a city like that.
Point left her hospitalized for 4 months, and 3 years prior to her disappearance, she had suffered a mental lapse while visiting relatives in Germany, to the extent that her mother was obliged to travel to Germany to bring her back home. On top of all of that, her father acknowledged that her recent academic failures had left her depressed and worried, and that he was constantly afraid to permit his daughter to leave their home alone. Much of the other reporting seemed to support the conclusion that she wasn't in the best state when she walked into that park. The Inquirer reported that, along with the park guard who saw her at the entrance, 3 men who worked for the Feaster Brothers Coal Company had also seen her walk through their coal yard that afternoon, while 2 teenage boys had seen her walking on Oxford Avenue between Loney and Borbeck Streets until she came to the coal yard, where she paused and looked about her uncertainly. Then, some 5 minutes later, they saw her walking across a field on the other side of the coal yard toward Veery Road. Now, according to those boys, after their sighting, they just forgot about it. The path described by the boys would have seen her take a right off of Blay and onto Oxford, and then she would have cut across the train track.
My then toddler went under our deck while I was in the kitchen and the side gate was open. He did not answer when I called out. That would scare me that would scare me to death. If my daughter over the weekend randomly got up and then went upstairs, I guess, to go sleep in a different room, and she didn't tell me. So I woke up and I always go in and I just pop my head in and check on her, make sure she's all right. And then she wasn't there, so I'm like running around looking for her. And luckily she was up there, but I was like, don't go sleeping in a different room without telling me, you know, like that. I had like for a split second there, I had a heart attack, you know, thinking she had been like taken or something.
Next, passed through the coal yard, heading southeast towards Veery. According to the Inquirer, they found her in a broad, windswept meadow several hundred yards west of the 7900 block of Veery Road, which would have put her on the property of GN's Hospital, now part of a larger Temple University medical complex. It is possible that she didn't turn onto Oxford off of Blay, but rather made her way up to Central before going on to Oxford, and that would track with the claim from the guard that he didn't actually see her enter the park, but instead that she was walking back and forth at the entrance about a mile from the scene of the tragedy. All of that is within the realm of reason, especially if she had become disoriented or made a decision to harm herself. But it's when you begin to consider the rest of the reporting that things get weird. While the Inquirer reported that beneath a huge lopsided yellow moon, buffeted by a freezing northern blast, Elsie, bereft of reason, plucked her clothing from her body piece by piece and wandered naked across a wintry field to her death, the paper also noted that her body was found, nude save for a flimsy silken girdle, cruelly scratched by brambles. The Inquirer...
Wow, so she just stripped down out of nowhere and just started walking. Philly gets really cold in the winter, too. Philly gets very, very cold, so I can understand why she froze to death now. That makes a lot more sense.
Also reported that 50 feet away, draped over the brambles of a blackberry bush, was her dress. Other items of clothing were strewn closely about. The paper went on to explain that from that bush to the field trench where her body lay were the clearly defined imprints of her feet. From this, the police concluded that after she had removed all of her clothing, she had essayed to walk, but as the cold earth numbed her feet, she placed upon them her shoes. This would imply that after stripping off all but a garter, she chose to carry her shoes with her. Why they decided she'd taken her shoes off in the first place is unclear, but they believe she had stepped
Absolutely,
slowly and
ING.
broke into a run.
Doesn't matter how old they get, you'll always worry about them.
And after several steps, the right shoe flew from her.
Don't people strip when they're experiencing hypothermia? Yeah, sometimes they do, but that's typically when they're gonna have to try to get like next to somebody who, you know, for body warmth. People will strip in hypothermia. I don't understand why but yeah, your wet clothes would start to ice up, and then you'd probably just be better off staying in your like taking that off and try to dry it. But yeah, if she was going through a mental health issue, that makes more sense to me why she would take off her clothes. She's probably just not in her right mind. But I want to know what like caused her from the time that she got out of the car with her dad to walking to where she would just have a complete and utter total mental collapse like that.
Her foot. The left shoe then supposedly followed after, and then frantic feet padded on and on before she ultimately succumbed to the cold and fell down.
This kind of reminds me of that story with the Asian girl who ended up in the tank in the roof in LA. You know what I'm talking about? That story always blew my mind, that girl like randomly just had such a complete mental breakdown that she ended up in the water tank of a like hotel building.
This, of course, is a possibility, though an unquestionably odd one. Still, if the clothes and footprints were all anyone had to go on, it would be hard to argue against it. The problem is that it wasn't all anyone had to go on. As reported just a few paragraphs later, A woman who lived not far from the place where Elsie's body was discovered told police that she believed she'd heard a scream several hours after Elsie disappeared. Helen Soltis of 737 Borbeck Street told investigators and reporters, "I was in the kitchen. I thought I heard a scream. I dismissed it as imaginary." Once she learned of Elsie's situation, however, she began to wonder if she hadn't imagined it, and recalled how later throughout the night I started from sleep, feeling I had heard the scream again. Adding to that mystery was her recollection that she heard the neighborhood's dogs howling all night. The Intelligencer Journal added more to her story, including the claim that she heard groans issuing from the field about 9 or 10 p.m., along with the testimony of another female
I guess, like, what, you hear these, and then you just don't go out and check? Like, you could have saved this girl.
neighbor who said that she'd seen a man walking from the field about 11 o'clock p.m. on Tuesday night. And that wasn't all. Oddly, the paper couldn't seem to keep its reporting straight regarding the injuries Elsie had sustained prior to her death. On the one hand, the Inquirer reported that a doctor who lived on the 7900 block of Oxford Avenue was first to examine Elsie on the scene, and that he discovered only the scratches and bruises of her mad fight. But also, there was nothing to indicate that she had been choked, beaten, or otherwise harmed. Perhaps the word misprinted the word flight, but...
If you get hypothermia, your body temp goes down to a point where you think it's hot. So that could, yeah, so if she was struggling from hypothermia, if it was snowing out or something like that, or raining, yeah, that could trigger her to disrobe, I guess.
I have to wonder if the journalist didn't make something of a Freudian slip. An article from the Intelligencer, published the same day as the Inquirer article, described her injuries differently, reporting that the thighs bore deep cuts and scratches, and there were stains resembling blood on the shoulder of her dress and on her underclothing found nearby. Apparently sent to print before the police announced her cause of death as self-inflicted, the paper noted that the detective said the scratches on the thighs might have been inflicted by the briars which surrounded the spot, though some of them resembled fingernail marks. Also absent from the Inquirer article was the detail that Elsie's face was distorted as if in terror, and the hair was in wild disorder. One very relevant contradiction was also present, that being the claim that the girl's clothing lay in an orderly pile 100 yards from the body. Dress, stockings, shoes, coat, hat, slip, and underwear. The Inquirer, meanwhile, had described her clothes as being flung about and her shoes kicked off mid-run. The Pittsburgh Gazette and Sayre Evening Times brought similar reports through the United Press Wire Service, which claimed that she undressed under the delusion she was preparing for bed and then lay down on the cold ground. This could be chalked up to shoddy reporting, but for the fact that it came directly from the head of the psychology...
I don't think that they knew as much about this stuff back then, though. That could be, you know... Yeah, we know way more about this shit than we did back then, so it's definitely possible that it was just bad reporting, or they were just trying to make sense of it in some way or another.
...department at Temple, Dr. Thaddeus Bolton, who attributed the whole thing, and I am not making this up, to moon madness. According to Dr. Bolton, the theory of moon madness is based on the observation of a natural condition among near insane and nervous persons.
Mercury in retrograde, baby, it's been confirmed.
The attacks of extreme nervousness usually recur at regular intervals about 28 to 30 days apart, coinciding as they do with the full moon. It has long been thought by many that the moon's rays are responsible. In a stunning display of how primitive psychology was in the 1930s, he continued on, asserting that when she left her father and started to walk through the woods, it is possible she became more agitated, thinking of her schoolwork. Then, as night came on, she became lost, and with the full moon shining over her head, completely lost her reason. While I'm sure the good doctor had his reasons to genuinely suspect that the moon was responsible, I think there's another option, and...
Can you charge the moon with murder? Can the moon be charged with murder?
I can't figure out for the life of me why it wasn't considered. You see, the two teenage boys who found her were the same Lester Spurl and Luther Allenberg who reported seeing her walking around and through the coal yard, and they said she was headed southeast. Yet when they found her, she was to the southwest of where they said she had been going. In addition to that, one thing that came up repeatedly in the reports was the mention of a shack. A shack that, according to the Intelligencer Journal, those two boys had been building or working on not far from where Elsie turned up. As if that wasn't suspicious enough on its own, the Inquirer reported that Allenberg, who lived at 7932 Oxford Avenue, had told Spurl, "Pretty soon we'll hear about that girl disappearing." Taken together, we have a story saying that two of the last people to see Elsie alive, after dark, who had a shack in the woods near where she was found, were also the people to find her.
Yeah, Moon Madness is definitely a good jam. Moon Madness, making me take off all my clothes. Moon Madness, gonna make me go and disrobe. Moon Madness, getting me down with the badness. Moon Madness, I'm going out assless. That's $1 million song right there.
In a place they had, by their own account, no reason to believe she was, and they were on record saying they believed she was likely to disappear from the moment they saw her. I don't think I need to spell out what might have happened based on that information. Now, are either Karen Cooney or Elsie Flockmeyer's disappearances really the kind of thing that should qualify for a missing 411 entry? Absolutely not, considering both of them have the far more likely explanation of young women being assaulted by men who chased them into the woods.
Lunacy. Aha. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. That's good. That's a good one, E-Ship.
Are they both rather odd and technically unsolved? Yes. Are there better, more true...
Or Moonacy. I was thinking about a song being about a werewolf, not a nudist. Well, she got naked, you know what I'm saying?
Unsolved mysteries left to cover in this episode? Perhaps.
Yeah. Well, I've been enjoying these. I don't go check out if you guys are interested to go check out the rest of these. The Lore Lodge, the Truly Unsolved Missing 411 Cases of Pennsylvania. Good stuff. Unfortunately, I have a little lately here tonight, so I have to go make sure that she gets ready for bed and school tomorrow. So can't be on too late tonight, but we'll definitely be back here. I'm not sure if we'll be back Thursday or Friday, though. That's the question. That seems to be the question at the moment. Depends if we start leagues this week or not on Thursday. If not, I will be live. I heard EG is streaming all night. Oh, is that what you heard? Is that what you heard? Is that what the escalator told you? The escalator only goes halfway up. China! They're messing with our escalators. Telling you right now, they say Trump. That's me, I'm Trump. They say Trump, you gotta do something about these escalators. In America, what happened to all the American escalators? We got the China ones now. Anyway, guys, GG's. Love y'all very much. Shout out to Phallic for organizing this. Thank you to sorry, 1 second here. Fabiola. Thank you, Fabiola Case, for the super chats tonight. I appreciate you. Everybody who couldn't make it, hopefully you get a chance. I'll leave this up a little bit because I know some people who typically are here couldn't be here tonight. So I hope that everybody has a wonderful night. I hope you've been enjoying the change of pace, a little bit of uplifting stuff tonight, a little bit of downlifting stuff tonight, a little bit of mystery. We're going to be doing all kinds of new things. We're going to be trying different stuff out. But at the end of the day, man, it's just all about the content at the end of the day. So with that said, much love to you all. I will see you guys on the next one. Much love again. Are we going to raid anyone? Not tonight. Not tonight. I gotta go make sure that the little one's in bed. I can't figure out how to. It'll take me like 10 minutes to find out who it is. But maybe next time I go live, we'll raid somebody. That would be cool. All right. With that said, I'll see you guys later. Peace.